Manto hit the facade at least 2 other times during his storied career. That home run against the A's was in the 11th inning and won the game 8-7 for the Yanks. The original Yankee power hitter was none other than Babe Ruth, and he regularly blasted home runs 475 feet and over in length. June 8th, 1926, in Detroit, it is claimed the Sultan of Swat lived up to the name with a moon launch that traveled 600 feet. That figure is called into question due to the propensity of newspaper reporters at the time to exaggerate blasts for maximum effect. That home run has been estimated to have traveled 500 feet. No doubt still a sight to behold. For It Happened in Baseball, I'm Mick Kern.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
This is the NBA on SiriusXM.
Full steam out of the backcourt, all the way to the rim for a thunderous slam.
Every game, all season long, through the NBA Finals.
Drives, he jump stops, he's off balance, he put it up and in. I don't know how.
Your home for hoops is SiriusXM Radio. Now, let's take you courtside for the game.
The Fan.
It's the beginning, we just got started.
I will never look at a team that we have available and say, oh, that's to be expected. We don't have to fight. No, we have to have a fight. We are Toronto Raptors. We got to bring fight every single night. Whatever that means. If that means I got to foul out and pick up 6 fouls, that's what it means. But we got to have much more fight. And through that fight and competition, that's how you're creating like resiliency and quality and learning and getting better. But we got to learn how to do that without me, all the time like trying to push for more.
That's the voice of Raptors as we bring you inside Scotiabank Arena. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you, getting you set for the tip-off between the Toronto Raptors and the Atlanta Hawks. And Jonesy, Coach Darko addressing his lineup, those available, the fight that he likes to see or certainly wants to see from his team on a night-to-night, game-to-game basis, and certainly it was a tough one a couple of nights ago on Boxing Day on the 26th down in Memphis. The Raptors giving up 155 points, the most in franchise history, to the Memphis Grizzlies, and there's no denying that he was fired up. He wasn't happy about his players. He wasn't happy about the whistle. He got ejected, but maybe a happier Darko tonight. Raptors back on their home floor trying to end an extensive losing streak, but getting some major pieces back, including one dude making his season debut.
Well, yeah, Bruce Brown, that'll be big. You get a rotation guy. I mean, it's going to take him a while, Eric, but, the other part of it, too, is Darko talked about a couple things that were very important, stuff that they were successful with at the beginning of the year. And Bruce Brown will help with one of those, and that's ball pressure. The other thing that he says is they need rebounding. We joke. We used to laugh. No rebounds, no rings. The Raptors are not in a position where they're going to be winning a ring this year. But if you're going to win games, you still have to rebound. And I think that's something that has been lacking. And this Atlanta team is one that is very good in terms of points in the paint. So your defense had better be up to scratch tonight.
We'll talk more about that, I'm sure, after the break when we get Jonesy's keys to victory and the starting lineups as well. Also want to mention that Jakob Poeltl does return to the Raptor lineup tonight. So again, it's the starting lineups and the tip-off coming up in mere moments as you're listening to Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank. This is how we fan. Tangerine, official bank of the Toronto Raptors, right here on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Are you ready to unbox a great deal? Like the colder temperature, our Boxing Week promotions are here at Energy Power Sports. Hi, I'm Jean-Luc Lemire. Boxing Week deals are on our entire new and pre-owned inventory. Choose your promotions on Ski-Doo or Lynx snowmobiles for up to $3,000 off, or choose financing as low as 0% on remaining 2024 or 2025 models. The choice is yours, and the savings are big. Visit us at Energy Power Sports in Oakville today for your Boxing Week deals.
Direct!
Greg Carrasco here, the Greg Carrasco. Big news. I am now the managing partner at Direct Nissan in Mississauga. For 30 years, you've trusted me to steer you right. So if you're one of my customers or you just love a great deal, come on down. You will laugh, you'll cry, and you might even drive away with a deal that will blow your mind. Direct Nissan. New vibe, same Greg. There is something happening here at directnissan.ca.
Direct!
As a homeowner in the GTA, you know it can be...
What's up, Raptors fans? Thank you so much for hanging out with us today during this Toronto Raptors matchup. We really appreciate you being here. Please take a minute to hit that like button down below. Give us that thumbs up so that we can bring more basketball fans here into the chat to hang out with us and keep making a difference in our community. Now, the Raptors are doing a little bit better lately. The tank might be off. So if that's the case, we're going to need you guys to hit that like button and hit that share button as well so we can get more fans in here to cheer on our Raptors to make a playoff run. Let's go, Raptors. We'll see you back in the chat.
Me? Yes. Yes, it should. It's time to upgrade your winter. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2025 RAV4 LE all-wheel drive from $98 weekly for 40 months at 5.99% with $2,500 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer today.
Ontario is building up our nursing workforce. Since 2018, nearly 100,000 new nurses have registered to work in Ontario. Last year, we added a record of over 18,000 new nurses with another 30,000 nursing students in school. We're investing millions in new programs that pay for nurses' education and breaking down barriers so they can get to work sooner. Learn more at ontario.ca/yourhealth. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Can a pizza commercial change the world?
It was a rainy day in Pizzaville when I realized...
Did Albert Einstein invent the theory of relativity after hearing 7 free sex, free sex, free sex? Did Steve Jobs create the iPhone while eating a Ponzo combo? Next up, Quentin Tarantino's It Was a Rainy Day ads that never made it to air. Pizzaville, 40 years of funny.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Sunday evening. I don't know about you, but I forgot what day it was. I know the dates around the holidays. I have no clue what day it is.
Come on.
So we're finally back on track. It's football Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're lying if you didn't know what day. I know you were sitting up there with your Bills hat on, singing The Bills Make Me Want to Shout.
40-14 victory today as we go over to Herbie Kuhn for the starting 5 for the Atlanta Hawks.
6'9" forward wearing number 1 is Jalen Johnson. From France, a 6'9" forward at number 10, Zachary Rissache. From Switzerland, a 6'10" center, number 15, is Clint Capella. From the Czech Republic, a 6'8" guard, number 27, is Vít Krejci. And out of Oklahoma, a 6'1" guard, number 11, is Trae Young. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Atlanta Hawks is Quinn Snyder.
All right, some of these names, a dream for Herbie Kuhn. Starting 5 for the Atlanta Hawks in the books. We'll get the Raptors starting 5 in mere moments, but first, it's the keys to victory brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game, lease the CR-V from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
Well, Eric, I'm going to start with the obvious. After the last game where the Raptors gave up more points than any other game in their history, got to be the defense. Toronto has really slipped defensively, and that's in all tenets. Ball pressure, closing things out with rebounding, help side, all of those things. They've got to do a better job with that. Second of all, one of those is actually incorporated, and that's the rebounding. You got to be a better rebounding team. The Atlanta Hawks are 4th in the NBA in second chance points. So you've got to close out possessions today with rebounds. And lastly, I think a real key will be how they are able to go at Atlanta from an offensive standpoint. The Hawks have done a pretty decent job compared to last year, but they're still near the bottom half of the league in defensive rating. So Toronto's got to get their offense going tonight.
I will send it back to center court. Herbie Kuhn's going to hand it off to Mark Strong to get the starting 5 for the hometown Toronto Raptors.
We the North, born and bred, bringing the saga to the 6. It's time for number 9, R.J. Barrett. From Kansas City, wearing number 30, the young guy on the front line. This is O.J. Ochai Obaji. Holding it down in center, wearing the big number 19, Mr. Double-Double. Let's hear it for Jakob Poeltl. The kid from Kansas, wearing number 1. You know the name. Make some noise for Grady Dick. And your Raptors NBA All-Star at 6'8" from Florida State. Make some noise for your boy, Scotty Barnes. Head coach of the Toronto Raptors is Darko Rajakovic.
There you have it, starting 5 for the Toronto Raptors, and great to have Jakob Poeltl back in the lineup for the Raptors as we get set for the tip-off of this contest. The Raptors will be in their red uniform trimmed with the black and white as Atlanta takes to the floor in their black uniform with the yellow and red. I don't know if it'll be sold out tonight, but it'll be close to it, as I'm sure a lot of people coming in for the holidays. We're still in the midst of the holiday season. Hopefully you all had a safe and healthy one as we approach the new year in the midst of a very busy stretch for the Raptors. That included games on the 22nd and 23rd, then the 26th, here again tonight, and then another back-to-back on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, as the schedule makers certainly have not been kind to the Raptors with what they've had to deal with over the course of about 9 days.
They haven't, and somewhere my conspiracy theory is in there. Do you think LeBron has that kind of a schedule?
No.
Do you think Steph has that kind of a schedule?
No.
Wonder what Washington's schedule's like.
Well, they did play last night because I was listening to our guys, Dave Johnson and Glenn Consor, when I was driving back from Cottage Country, and Washington put in a tough battle against the New York Knicks, but ultimately lost.
Took them to overtime. I was coming from a comedy show, a Caribbean comedy show out in Don Mills.
Okay.
And the very popular White Yardie, a white guy that's you'd swear he was black, Jamaican accent, speaks patois. He's actually at the game today.
Okay.
So I'm still laughing and my cheeks still hurt from some of the culturally appropriate truths he spins into comedy.
I've picked up a little bit of patois over the years, Jonesy, working with you for 20 years. There's a few things that I understand. I'll never dare say it or speak it because I would sound ridiculous, but I can understand it.
But you would have enjoyed the comedy show, E.
We're underway with Atlanta winning the tip, and the game starts with a triple missed by Krejci. We go back the other way. It's the Raptors in the lane. Scotty Barnes with a rifle pass intended for Poeltl down on the block, and it's picked off by Atlanta. Turnover Toronto. Here come the Hawks. Down Main Street with the floater over Poeltl. That one no good. And that was Johnson who missed it, but the Raptors again trying to push it down the floor, turn it over. Here comes Atlanta, only to promptly give it right back to Toronto. What a sloppy start to the game for both teams.
Well, Raptors have touched the ball 3 times. They've turned it over twice. Let's see what they do on this third touch.
All right, third time's the charm maybe. No score. 55 seconds in. Nope, third time is not the charm. Third time is another turnover. But Jakob Poeltl gets back to block Johnson, and the Raptors pick up the ball. Cue the Benny Hill music as Grady Dick turns the ball over for a 4th time in minute 10. Trae Young triple, no good. Down low, ball tapped around into the hands of Capella. Soft left-hand hook, no good. Rattles out into the hands of the Raptors, and here comes Toronto, but they turn it over in the backcourt. Far sideline, triple up and in, and we finally have a score as Ricochet hits the 3.
5 touches for Toronto, 5 turnovers.
You gotta be kidding me.
Not a shot yet.
And a miss on a reverse layup off an alley-oop attempt from Grady Dick. Raptors still scoreless, trailing 3-0. Trae Young triple makes it 6-zip. A bit of a dubious start, to say the least.
Very inauspicious. Man alive.
All right. There's a foul against the Hawks. It's going to go against Johnson, Jalen Johnson. So the Raptors will inbound from the far side. And let's just all collectively take a breath right now and hit the reset button with Toronto trailing 6-zip. Scotty Barnes inbounding from the far sideline. Again, not wearing the goggles. And we have another bump going against Atlanta. That's going to be on Capella underneath. So the Raptors will this time inbound from the near side.
I think they could get it on Risachet with the push. Oh, they got Capella. Okay.
Barnes, cross court, all the way over to the far sideline. Got it to Ochai, who tried to pass it back to Barnes, and it was an easy pickoff for Jalen Johnson. The Raptors have coughed it up already 6 times in 2 minutes and 5 seconds, and now a little touch foul on the other side going against Ochai Agbaji.
7 touches, 6 turnovers, 1 missed shot.
This is not the recipe that you want to be serving when you're trying to break a 9-game losing streak. Mentioned the New York Knicks earlier, riding the high of at least Eastern Conference high 7-game winning streak, and the Raptors on the opposite end with the 9-game losing streak. Far wing triple, no good for Trae Young. Into the far corner, tracked down, inbounds by R.J. Barrett, who brings it across center far side. Dips around a screen set by Ochai, goes up top to Ochai. Down low, in the paint, Ochai hands it off to Pirtle, who floats one up and in, and the Raptors finally get on the board. 6-2, 2.5 minutes gone by in the ballgame. Johnson trying to get it to Young. Instead, it goes over on the far side. Young ultimately ends up with the ball. Tried to drive on Pirtle. Pirtle got a piece. Young wanted to call, didn't get it. He's still complaining to the officials as the Raptors have a 5-on-4. Barnes in the lane, out to Barrett in the corner to Ochai. Good look at a 3 in front of his own bench. Rips the cords at 6-5.
Good extra pass by RJ. And I'll say good no call by the official not to be baited into Trae Young's histrionics. One of the great, he's on the top 10 in the flopper category.
And a beautiful up and under there by the youngster Risachet, who gets the reverse layup. It's 8-5 Atlanta. Came left to right, up and under the 10 to give Atlanta that 3-point lead. Grady Dick gives it up to Jakob Poeltl inside the arc out on the far side. Capella in front of him. Poeltl still holding the ball. Shot clock down to 10 as he gives it to Barrett. Barrett dips around the Poeltl screen, gets to the free throw line, tried to go backdoor to Ochai. It goes off an Atlanta player out of bounds. It'll be Toronto ball with 6 on the shot clock. Raptors inbounding from the far sideline. Scotty Barnes to do the honors. Goes down low to Ochai in the baseline to a cutting Grady Dick. Up and under to get away from Capella and got it to go.
Really good job. Good awareness by Toronto, and Grady always cutting to the basket.
Young across center, cut off in the lane. Loose ball ended up getting picked up by Risachet. Got to the 10, had the ball knocked away. Down on the floor, dirty for it is Pirtle, who taps it to Barrett, ahead to Barnes. 3-on-2, backdoor Grady Dick standing there. Nice up fake, but he's ultimately blocked there by Krejci. Loose ball picked up by Toronto, then taken away from Barnes. It's Krejci again who got it. He's got hands everywhere right now.
Raptors' 7th turnover.
In just over 4 minutes of action, Jonesy. They have as many turnovers as they do points as Capella finishes on the alley-oop. And it's 10-7 Atlanta. Barrett driving, dunks it. Risachet went for the steal, missed it, and Barrett drove to the 10 and dunked it down. It's 10-9, Toronto trailing by 1, make it 3 again as Jalen Johnson down low dunks it down, and Darko Rajakovic wants the timeout. Probably a lot to discuss right now.
Yeah, well, first of all, look after the basketball. Listen, you're going to hear the name Jalen Johnson a lot tonight. He's in my top 3 right now for most improved player.
12-9 Atlanta leading Toronto with 7:18 to go in the opening quarter. It's Toronto Raptors basketball brought to you by Tangerine Bank. This is how we fan. Tangerine, official bank of the Toronto Raptors, right here on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
People sometimes ask, sure, you can consolidate people's debts using telekinesis, but what else can you do? As if changing lives isn't enough. Well, I can also use my power to make it rain hot dogs.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Right in. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, you, the one that's hanging out with us listening to the Raptors game. Yeah, and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet. What the heck are you waiting for? Come on, hit that subscribe button so you can help us get that plaque. We're going after that 100,000 subscriber plaque, and only you can help us get there. So thank you for hitting that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto Raptors game of the season. If it's a Toronto sports team playing, we're live right here on TSI. Toronto FC games hopefully coming soon next season. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button, and let's go Raptors.
Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 7:18 to go in the first quarter. The Raptors trailing 12-9. Jonesy, Atlanta shooting just 38% to start the ball game. The Raptors at 66%, 4 of 6. But as we've documented a few times, because it's certainly a big-time story, Toronto with 7 turnovers in 4 minutes and 42 seconds, leading to 5 Atlanta points. Otherwise, we might be talking about a different start to the ball game for Toronto.
Well, and you know, that's can you pin that as one of your keys permanently, like how you pin chats
Turnovers?
in your
Yeah.
in your
You know what? I'm going to set
phone?
you up like that every other broadcast up until it becomes a non-issue. It's the keys to victory brought to you by Paul Jones. Number 1 is turnovers.
Okay, and then give you 3 more.
3 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pin that to the top of the chat.
Raptors start with the ball out of the timeout. Across center comes Barnes, finds Pirtle far side up top above the arc. It's Barnes holding the ball. Goes over on the wing to Ochai, far sideline to Grady, who drives into the paint, goes at Krejci, missed the shot. Rebound to Capella.
Grady had tunnel vision. The kick out there was to RJ for the open 3 instead of, I know I like 2s better than 3s, but that was very well contested by a shot blocker.
Up top, Krejci gets a look at a 3 ball, knocks it down clean. Atlanta opens up a 6-point lead.
Krejci looks at the guy you pick, looked like the guy you pick on Saturday at the Y, right?
Barrett misses in the lane. It hit the back rim, popped out. Atlanta gets the rebound.
Like no muscle tone, turns sideways, disappears.
Well, I thought you were going to say he looks like me, Jonesy.
No, you don't have all those tattoos.
I got a couple, but not that many. I just thought when you said no muscle tone, you were talking about me.
Hey, man, it's not a fashion show. Just tell me how effective you are.
Atlanta comes up empty on the initial shot, but Capella there for the offensive rebound, puts it back in, and the Hawks have opened up an 8-point lead, make it 6 as Barnes gets to the baseline far side and floats up a short jumper from about 10, 12 feet. Atlanta back, trying to get back on the board with a couple more. It was Young missing as he skipped through traffic, and the layup was no good. Toronto with the rebound. Across center comes Barrett, driving into the painted area. Stops on a dime right in front of Capella. Was looking for Pirtle, picked off another Raptor turnover. But the Hawks promptly give it right back, and Toronto's going to get the ball back with 5:41 to go in this quarter.
Atlanta's only got 2 turnovers. Man alive, I thought they were more than that.
5:41 to play. In the opening frame, Atlanta leads Toronto 17-11. Jamal Shed checking into the ball game, brings it across center. Shed finding Barrett on the near side. Pirtle trying to set the screen. Barrett goes the other way, then goes cross court with the pass to Shed, who gets into the paint, kicks it back out near sideline. Ochai 3-ball, rattled 2 rims, no good. Capella got to the ball before Pirtle.
A great play by Shed. Got the 3 off a paint touch, and it was an open 3 for Ochai.
Atlanta leading 17-11. Matthews with the floater. He thought he was fouled. It's picked up down low, though, and leaning in, drawing some contact, getting the call was Hunter, who just came into the ball game. And DeAndre Hunter's going to go to the line.
Hunter's been really good off the bench this year. 20 points, 4 rebounds in 28 minutes, 21 points. He's been really dialed in from an offensive standpoint. Starting to do a better job of knocking down 3s as well. Shooting 45% from distance.
And he knocks down the first free throw to give Atlanta the 18-11 lead. And Jonesy, we'll see what kind of ovation we get right here.
Chris Boucher.
Not just for Boucher, but the man we're about to hear from.
Also checking in for the Raptors, Toronto, let's welcome back number 11, Bruce Brown.
A decent reception for Bruce Brown, making his season debut, a long road back after off-season knee surgery. And he's finally good to go here. And hopefully he can pay dividends for the Raptors in their second unit. Shed gives it to Brown right now with Toronto trailing by 8. Brown to Pirtle, holding the ball above his head, now gives it back to Shed on the perimeter far side. Coming inside the arc at the far elbow extended, gives it to Barrett. Barrett gets to the free throw line, went right, comes back left, scoops it up and in, and got it to go.
Really nice job by RJ. Spacing wasn't great there, but he dribbled the ball out of harm's way and created something.
19-13 Atlanta leading. Deep one from straight away, no good for Matthews. He missed that one. Raptors with the rebound across center, comes Shed on the near side. Shed driving into the painted area, fires a pass, far sideline. RJ, three ball, way too strong. It goes all the way over the rim, hit the glass, but a bad miss there for RJ.
Again, I like Shed's penetration, though. Get into the paint, touch it with 2 feet, and then make your play.
Hunter goes to Matthews, now on the far side. It's Risache, who's got it right now, dipping behind the screen set by Capella. Into the lane, goes back on the sideline, near side to Matthews. Three ball contested, hit the top of the backboard. My goodness.
Well, there you go for all the pie charts and slide rulers. They had a ball in the lane with a chance for a layup. Risache wasn't even looking at the basket, passed it out, and both Barrett and Boucher contested the three. I don't care how good a shooter Garrison, man. I don't care if you're Kobe Bryant. When there's two guys on you like that, that is a much more difficult shot.
3:50 to go in the opening frame. Raptors trailing by 6. Brown had it in the lane, lost the handle, gave it up. 9th turnover for the Raptors. My goodness. Hunter has it right now across center. Raptors shooting 50%, trailing by only 6, but the turnovers have been destroying them thus far. And now a little excuse me foul going against Jamal Shed. Darko doesn't like it, and it's going to be sideline out of bounds for the Hawks out on the far side. Wallace to do the honors, gets it into Okongwu. Gave it up to Hunter as the Hawks try to work that ball around. Hunter's at the far elbow. Finds a cutting Matthews who lost the handle. Might have been stripped actually. And the Raptors pick it up and come across center with Shed. Atlanta now starting to cough it up a little bit too much too. But the Raptors have yet to convert on any of the 4 turnovers. Can they do it right here? Barnes driving into the paint. Stops on a dime. Turns. Fires. Bucket is good for Scotty Barnes.
I love that. Turn down the contested 3. Drive it in. And get something in the lane. Even with a good defender, DeAndre Hunter draped all over you.
And Quinn Snyder wants the timeout for Atlanta. The Raptors have cut it to 4 with 3:09 to go in the opening frame. It's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
For 40 years, listeners have pondered why Pizzaville begins every ad with these now immortal words.
It was a rainy day in Pizzaville when I realized...
Questions like these have perplexed mankind for millennia. What is the meaning of life? What is the true nature of the universe? Will Toronto ever win the cup? Next up, is Netflix going behind the scenes of It Was a Rainy Day? Pizzaville. 40 years of funny.
Check out 32 Thoughts, the podcast, brought to you by the GMC Sierra AT4X. Where some roads end, other journeys begin. With off-road suspension, selectable traction modes, and up to 14 available camera views, the Sierra AT4X is engineered for the roughest terrain. Experience the peak of premium off-roading today at gmccanada.ca to see the Sierra AT4X.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 3:09 to go in the opening quarter. The Raptors trailing the Hawks 19-15. Jones, the Raptors shooting 54% from an offensive standpoint when they actually control the ball and hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
They're doing pretty well.
Yeah, when you get a shot at the basket, the problem is they've had 9 turnovers. And thankfully, it's not crippling them as much as it potentially could be, but got to cut down on those. Their defense is pretty good. Atlanta's 7 of 20, 3 of 8 from distance, and I love the way they're contesting shots. If they hadn't turned this thing over, we might be seeing a different result on the scoreboard right now.
So Atlanta ball out of the timeout. They've got to go the length of the floor as they inbound on the baseline right by the Raptor bench. And they get it into Trae Young, who's picked up in the backcourt with some decent pressure from Jamal Shead, who's right on his hip now as Young comes across center. They find Hunter just above the free throw line, turns, fires, and knocks down the jump shot.
He's another guy who would be in the running for a most improved player.
19-footer good gives Atlanta a 6-point lead. Olynyk hands it off to Brown. Brown dips behind the Olynyk screen now, gets to the near elbow, stops his dribble, goes back out on the perimeter to Shead. Shot clock down to 7. Shead bounces it past to Boucher in the lane, bobbled it, then was fouled, and it's going to stay with the Raptors and a fresh 14.
I like that. I like it going into the lane. The Raptors have only taken 3 threes, but they've done a nice job with their shooting.
And that's actually going to be the 15th foul now in Atlanta, so it's not going to be a fresh 14. It's going to be 2 free throws for Chris Boucher. Boucher's first one is up and clean. Raptors trailing 21-16. Second free throw good as well. Raptors again cut it to 4 with 2:35 to go in the quarter. Young brings it up across center for Atlanta. Already 5 assists in the ballgame. He has accounted for 66% of Atlanta's scoring in this first quarter when you factor in his points and assists. Deep triple near side. That's his range, and he proves it. Buries it.
Raptors were switching, but Bruce Brown didn't get up fast enough.
Boucher blocked on a pass up, but gets it right back. Turns, fires, misses the jumper. Sneaking in for the rebound is Shead to a cutting Boucher, who's fouled on the layup attempt, and he's going to go back to the free throw line.
Gotta love those guys like Jamal Shead sneaking in there selectively. It's not like he's putting his team at risk by gambling on an offensive rebound, and if he doesn't get it, now you've got a numbers discrepancy on the back end. Smart play by Jamal.
Free throw is in. It's 24-18. Boucher back to the stripe for number 2. Makes that one clean. And it's 24-19. So the Young triple had put Atlanta up by 7. It's now chopped back down to 5. Young, another deep one. This one from straightaway. Buries it again.
Got to be up on him. I mean, as much as he's become a playmaker this year, he hasn't forgotten the other stuff.
27-18. Atlanta leading by 8. It's their largest lead. Barnes on the near side, inside the arc, now driving into the paint. Turns, fires. Jumper is good. Took it right to Johnson.
I like that.
And the Raptors get the steal on the other way. Bruce Brown got back, took it away from Matthews. Down Main Street to the 10. The knee looked pretty good there, folks. Bruce Brown on the board, and a huge reaction from the Raptor bench.
Well, because in warm-up, Bruce was trying to dunk off 1 dribble and 2 steps, and he kept getting hitched on the rim, as the kids would say. That one, he came right down Bay Street, jammed it, and looked at the bench, say, how you like that one?
And Matthews hits a 3-ball for Atlanta. Raptors trading 2s for 3s right now. Bruce Brown drives again, this time blocked by Matthews.
Wow, that looked like a foul.
It did look like there was contact, Jonesy. No doubt about that. But they're going to say it was clean with 1:01 to go.
After Darko's ejection last week, I said you, me, and JR would chip in and pay half. He said, don't worry, my friend, I don't have to pay this time. JR shaking his head.
I'll be honest.
What if it comes back with interest, JR?
I'll be honest. I'm surprised.
I'm surprised,
too. With the way he reacted, with how demonstrative it was, I'm surprised there was no extra money.
and then at the same time, maybe they knew they messed up.
Yep. Another jumper for Scotty Barnes, looking smooth tonight in the opening quarter. Scotty's got 11. Check that. 8. Atlanta works around in the near corner. Another look at a 3, and another bucket is good. The Hawks are starting to heat up big time from distance, 7 of 12.
DeAndre Hunter, as I said, shooting 45% from 3. Raptors being outscored by 24 from behind the arc.
33-25. The lead again is back up to 8. And guess what? Another Raptor turnover. Toronto with 10 in the quarter, and a dunk on the other end gives Atlanta a 10-point lead with 12 seconds left. Shed, weaving through traffic, finds Olynyk straight away. 3-ball, no good. Rebound to Young. He's got time. He gets it across center. He's going to take the shot, folks. Straight away, got a look. Missed the shot. He claims he was fouled, but either way, the Hawks are going to the second quarter with a 10-point lead. It's 35-25.
Well, turnovers, Raptors. All I have to do is look at the shots. Atlanta with 7 more shots, 7 of 13 from distance.
10 turnovers for the Raptors in the opening frame, leading to 7 Atlanta points. And Toronto trailing by double figures, 35-25, with the second quarter coming next on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
Men, are you tired of feeling off your game? Put your health back in order at Game Day Men's Health. Testosterone replacement therapy, ED treatment, weight loss, and vitamin therapy in spaces designed for men. Privacy, comfort, flat screen TVs, and zero fluff. Visit GameDayOntario.com to lock in your free testosterone test and consultation. That's GameDayOntario.com. Start living your best with Game Day Men's Health.
You built your business from the ground up. Now let Rogers Sports and Media take it to new heights. Book your next radio or podcast advertising campaign with Rogers Sports and Media Ad Manager. Designed for businesses of all sizes, RSM Ad Manager is self-serve and simple to use. We'll even give you a $250 ad credit to build your first campaign today. And your audio can be produced at no extra cost. Visit grow.rogersportsandmedia.com to claim your ad credit today.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. Getting set to start the second quarter. The Raptors are down 10. They fell down early in the ballgame. They've never had a lead yet, only 12 minutes in. But after coughing the ball up a ton in the opening frame, they did battle back on a couple of occasions to cut it down to 4 points. And now trailing by 10 thanks to the three-point barrage that came late in the quarter for the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks, Jonesy, shooting 7 of 13 from distance, 7 of their 13 field goals overall from long range. Barnes starts the quarter with the ball out on the far side, goes cross-court, left to right, to Bruce Brown, to Jacoby Walter underneath, to Kelly Olynyk, who taps it in and gets the bucket to get this thing back into single digits at 8. Trae Young has it. 9.6 assists in the opening quarter. Gets into the lane. Jackknifes a pass into the near corner. Gives it up to Jalen Johnson, trying to bring it along the baseline. Bruce Brown is right there. Johnson muscles his way into the paint. Bruce Brown there the whole time, and the shot is missed. Great defense from Brown.
And he told the bench about it, too. Tell that guy not to try that.
Jacoby Walter cut off at the free throw line. Finds Olynyk on the perimeter near side. Brings it inside the arc, then goes back up top to Walter. Walter now seeing a gap, gets to the 10, lays it up and in with the right hand on the left side.
Great change of speed by the youngster there. Jacoby Walter doing a really, really nice job reading the defense.
Young, right to left, over to Matthews. Matthews with the fake, got into the lane, lobs it up, down low, underneath, grabbing it. Missing it, but fouled, and ultimately heading to the free throw line is Okongwu, and he'll get 2, with his Hawks currently leading by 6.
Raptors ran Garrison Matthews off the line, but run him sideways. I don't like this concept in the NBA. Oh, run the guy off the line. That just lets him drive into the lane and stress your defense even more. Close out properly. Keep the guy in front of you.
Okongwu hits the first free throw, pushes the lead to 7. Where's that number 17 on his black Hawks jersey? Second free throw clean. The lead is 8. Minute 8 gone by here in the second quarter. Thanks for tuning in on a Sunday night right here on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Walter hands it off to Barrett across center. Barnes left to right, back over to Walter. Walter at the near elbow got into the lane, looking like he was maybe going to give it up to Olynyk and got his pocket picked. Back the other way comes Trae Young. He was trying to give it to Johnson, and it goes off Johnson's fingertips out of bounds, and Atlanta promptly gives it right back.
Terrible spacing on that 2-on-1 break by Atlanta. Scotty Barnes was the one guy back, and he could have held hands with the 2 offensive players.
And Barnes has it right now. Beautiful entry pass in traffic to Brown, who lays it in.
Scotty down the lane, and Brown with his hands ready.
Atlanta the other way. Matthews tried to go up and under. Toronto stands tall, formed the wall right at the 10. Matthews wanted a call, didn't get it. It's off, I believe, Barrett down low. Either way, it's going to be Atlanta ball on the baseline. 16 on the shot clock as Grady Dick's going to check in. And Bruce Brown will get a breather in his return to the lineup. 4 points and a steal in 7 minutes of action, and the bench showing their appreciation right now.
A very winded 7 minutes for Mr. Brown, but he's a guy that goes hard when he's out there.
Matthews off the screen, gives it right back to Okongwu on the alley-oop. Great two-man game right there for Atlanta.
You got to pressure the ball coming off. It can't be a free in on the dribble like that.
And they're calling an illegal screen on Kelly Olynyk.
He had the ball. How is that an illegal screen? He had the ball.
He got hammered.
He had the ball and was trying to hand it off. How is that a foul? The offensive player has the right of way with the ball.
39-31. Raptors down 8, running floater in the lane, no good for Young. The tip by Okongwu, no good. Loose ball, though, is picked up by Atlanta. They keep the possession alive. Johnson faked the handoff to Richache. Takes a 3-ball himself from the near side, missed it. Okongwu flies in, nearly got it away from Olynyk. Loose ball's picked up by Richache, and a late whistle comes in, and they're going to send the youngster to the free throw line.
Well, Atlanta, as we said, one of the best second chance teams in the NBA.
And now we have a technical foul going against Kelly Olynyk. No doubt still talking about what happened on the other end.
I don't blame him. And he should be, he's in the ear of crew chief Carl Lane, and he should be saying to him, you need to go and look at that one at halftime. Kelly Olynyk had the ball and was trying to hand it off on a guard around, and in trying to blow up the play.
Oh, you're 1,000% correct, Jonesy. It's clear as day.
They're going too far with these calls that were kind of niche calls that were idiosyncratic, where, you know, a guy said a dribble handoff and pivot in and do like a little hip check foul like Vlade Divac. Oh, we're going to take those out. Okay, take those out, but the guy with the ball still has the right of way.
Yep.
That is an absolutely abhorrent call.
9:38 to go here in the second quarter, as Richache takes care of business at the stripe on his free throws to extend the lead to 42-31.
Can I get back on my soapbox again about
go ahead.
The Raptors being the team that has the most fouls, and the fouls are due to subjective calls?
Driving baseline far side, a foul comes in against Atlanta that's going to send Barrett to the free throw line. With Toronto trailing by 11, Hawks currently with their largest lead of the game. It's going to go against Richache. He's got 7 points, couple of rebounds, and now his first foul of the ball game. So Barrett heads to the stripe. Relatively quiet night thus far. 4 points on 2 of 4. Does have 5 rebounds, which leads the team, and in fact tied for a game high with Capella's 5 as well. First free throw goes down for RJ. And takes a deep breath, dips on the second one, fires, and that one clean as well. Raptors down 9. It's 42-33. 9:20 to go here in the second quarter. Trae Young whips a pass over on the far sideline to Matthews. Elevated, then gave it to Okongwu, back to Matthews. On the baseline, tried to go up and under the 10, but Barnes was right there, got the block. Ball was briefly tapped away by Risacher, picked up by Barnes across center. So the Raptors get the stop. Grady Dick over in the far corner to Jacoby Walker. Spinning away from Matthews, tried to go cross court, and an easy pickoff pass for Atlanta. Jalen Johnson to the 10, dunks it down, and the Raptors another turnover results in Atlanta points. Barrett back for the Raptors, had the ball knocked away by Atlanta, off his leg, out of bounds, another Toronto turnover. Jonesy, there's 8:48 to go in the first half, and the Raptors have given up 13 turnovers.
I'll wait till halftime to look at what the season high is.
Young, triple is good far side, and the lead grows to 14.
Really critical time here for Toronto.
Raptors are doing it to themselves.
Yeah, kind of hang on to the rope, but part of hanging on to the rope is hanging on to the ball.
Barrett driving near baseline, and a man's move right there as he leaned in on the youngster, Risacher, and got the bucket to go.
Yeah, and held his hand at knee height, saying, "You're too small."
Well, not strong enough either.
There's a key to the weight room, young man.
Young loses the handle in the lane. Loose ball picked up by the Raptors. Grady Dick lobs it up. Barrett couldn't get it, but it's tracked down by Barnes, who goes cross court to Grady. Up fake, sidestep, gives it to Pirtle. Back to a cutting Grady. Scoop shot, no good. Offensive foul. You got to be kidding me. He got hit midair.
That's got to be a block. That's got to be a block.
He was hit midair.
Matthews still moving sideways.
And his heels are on the circle too, Jonesy. We're getting an overhead look from our TV friends. The replay I saw on the big board. Yeah, the heels were on the line.
The heels were on the line.
I'm shocked the Raptors aren't challenging that one, Jonesy. They've had a ton of time here with all these substitutions. They would easily see on the replay that the defender's feet were on the line. That would be an easy win on the replay.
Yeah.
On the challenge. Toronto doesn't challenge. They trail by 12. Wallace brought it across center for Atlanta. Gave it up to Matthews. He's got it back right now as he dips around a screen set by Capella. Got it in the lane and got stripped. Brown ahead to Grady. Down the floor. Dunk it down so the Raptors still get a deuce, even though they had to work a little hard for it.
Grady got his 2 eventually, but you now can see why Darko was ticked off in Memphis and got thrown out. Just the cycle of calls and the way they are being whistled consistently, not good if you're a Raptor.
47-37. Raptors trailing by 10 with 7:35 to go in the second quarter. It's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Away from her 55-inch flat screen TV and yells at it even though she knows no one on the TV can hear a word she's saying. Is it effective? There's no evidence. Do we support her? Yeah. Screaming at the TV for all 4 quarters. That's how Mary fans. And we're fans of Mary. This is how we fan. Tangerine, the official bank of the Toronto Raptors.
Hey, Raptor fans. What would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
As a homeowner in the GTA, you know it can be a long journey before your home runs smoothly and worry-free. But thanks to our experts at EnerCare, you don't have to do it alone. We're available with affordable solutions every step of the way. Whether it's heating, cooling, water heating, or water purification, you get peace of mind knowing that you're backed by our very best. With 65 years of helping Ontarians, we'll always be here when you need us.
EnerCare, experts at home.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 7:35 to go in the second quarter. 47-37, Atlanta leading Toronto.
I know the Bills won big. Have my Brownies found the end zone yet?
The Brownies have not found the end zone. They're down 13-3 with about 5 minutes left.
Reminds me of the old joke. How do you keep the Browns out of your backyard? Paint it like an end zone. They'll never find it.
Fortunately, I feel like you've used that joke a few times over the years, Jonesy, because it hasn't gone away.
It's true. Kind of like the one where the guy makes a fist and they say, "What's that?" Buffalo Bills guy showing off his Super Bowl rings.
Oh, come on, Jonesy.
JR like that one. Sorry, I take that one back because I'm angling for a spot on the Bills bandwagon in about 2 weeks.
7:27 to go here, second quarter. Play resumes. Atlanta's got the ball. Deep jumper from about 18 feet, no good. That was Hunter who came up empty, and the Raptors snag the rebound and bring it across center. On the wing far side inside the arc. Ochai Agbaji, and they're going to call an illegal screen against the Raptors. That'll be Jakob Poeltl, allegedly. Atlanta inbounding the ball with a 10-point lead. Toronto with 15 turnovers. And the jumper far side is good. He missed the last one straight away, but from the right side, that one good for Hunter on a 16-footer. And it's a 12-point Atlanta lead.
Hunter leads all bench scorers with 11.
Brady to Ochai, gives it up near side to Poeltl above the elbow. To Bruce Brown, who tunes the corner at the free throw line, and the floater is good, and it looked like he took some contact,
Yeah,
too.
it looked like it, too. But great job by Bruce. I like this defensive unit with Ochai, Shed, and Brown on the floor.
Wallace into the corner. Up fake. It's Krejci. Back to Wallace. Lefty release on the three ball. No good. Tracked down by Krejci.
Welcome to the new age. There's no way Keaton Wallace should be shooting that three.
Brady Dick out on the far sideline, brings it across center into the paint. Goes over on the near side to Bruce Brown for three, missed the shot down low. Jakob Poeltl trying to get to it, tapped it around, kept alive by Ochai. Brady over to Shed, far wing, triple is good for Jamal Shed.
Shed locked and loaded. Brady delivered the pass at the right spot. See if the Raptors can mount a little charge here, down 7.
Wallace on the logo, trying to dip behind the screen and get away from Grady. Now picked up by Bruce Brown. Brown all over him at center. Finds Capella near side. Got a step on Poeltl. Shot clock down to 5. Wallace at the free throw line. Jumper up, no good. Down low with the rebound, it's Poeltl.
Bruce Brown's activity defensively is fantastic.
Brown, he's got it on the near side right now. Hands it off to Ochai. Back to Brown on the baseline, right in front of his own bench. Holding the ball for a moment. Now finds Poeltl. Poeltl trying to go backdoor to Brown. Had the ball picked off and taken away. Another Raptor turnover. Atlanta nearly coughed it up, and they did. Jamal Shed picks it up on the near sideline. Fires head to Brown, who stayed behind the defense, never even got back past the free throw line. Lays it in, and the Raptors have cut it to 5.
Bruce is gassed because he's working really hard on the defensive end. Eric, the Raptors doing a lot of switching. And the late Brendan Malone used to have a term when you switch. If you're switching onto the ball handler, it's a switch and smother. If you're switching with a guy who's not handling the ball, it's switch and deny. You don't just kind of trade men. And Bruce Brown has got the switch and smother going really, really well.
5 minutes to go in the first half. Raptors have cut it to 4 after trailing by 14. Check that, 5. It's 49-44 with 5 minutes to play on Toronto Raptors basketball. Brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Ah, at last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
It's your business. You built it yourself. Let Rogers Sports and Media help to make it grow. There's now an easy way to get your business on the air with our radio station or our entire audio network. It's called Rogers Sports and Media Ad Manager. Designed for businesses of all sizes, RSM Ad Manager is self-serve and simple. Get a $250 ad credit to get started, and your audio can be produced at no extra cost. Visit grow.rogersportsandmedia.com for details.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590. The Fan.
Welcome back, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 5 minutes to play in the first half. Down 5, 49-44. Raptors trailing, but showing some fight here after going down by 14. Jonesy shooting 60% with 16 turnovers.
Well, he's getting a break right now, but Bruce Brown has been a huge part of what the Raptors have been doing. He's got 8 points off the bench in 10 minutes on 4 of 6, couple of rebounds and assists, and just tremendous activity on the defensive end.
Raptors in the midst of an 11-2 run. Trying to work his way down low to the right block, turning, firing, falling, and hitting the shot. Beautiful bucket for Hunter. Pushes the Atlanta lead to 7. 51-44. Barnes to Pirtle up top. Now on the near side, it's Grady. Quick trigger 3-ball, no good. Looked pretty good, but it hit the side of the rim on the far side and bounded out. Atlanta with the rebound. Young to a cutting Capella down Main Street, who's fouled right at the rim. And it's going to be 2 free throws for Clint Capella.
That's a great pass by Trae Young, seeing a streaking Clint Capella right down the middle of the court.
Capella goes to the stripe. .421 to go here in the first half. It's 52-44. Atlanta has increased the lead back to 8 after the Raptors had it down to 5. Lead was as high as 14 in this first half. Capella with 5 points, 5 boards, looking for another free throw right here. It's clean, give him 6 and 5, and the lead stretches to 9. Brady catches it near side, got into the paint, fires back out on the far side to RJ Barrett, who brings it back toward the logo at center. Now toward the near side. Shot clock down to 5. RJ trying to go at Trae Young. Fake left, came back right, fouled on his attempt to the tin by Trae Young. And RJ Barrett's going to head to the stripe.
Good move by RJ. He spun to his left, and Trae Young had cut him off, knowing that he wanted to get back to the left hand. And RJ just said, okay, if you're giving me the right side, I'll take it. And Young had no choice but to reach in and ended up fouling him.
3:59 to go here in the first half. First free throw rattles around, pops out for RJ. It's kind of been his Achilles heel at times this year. Free throw shooting for RJ in an otherwise magnificent season. Barrett at the stripe this season, a little more than 72% as the second free throw goes down. And he has done a decent job tonight, 3 of 4 at the line. That cuts the Atlanta lead to 8 with 3:56 to go in this first half. Trae Young over on the near side to Hunter. Got to the near elbow. Keeps his dribble going, though. Stops in the paint. Leans back in on Shed. Off glass and in. Plus the foul. Hunter pounds his chest to show his strength. And he's going to the stripe for the and one.
It's funny. Trae Young wanted the initial foul when Hunter was the one leaning in. Hunter was the one leaning in and causing the contact. Again, like I said, some guys, one-way toughness, they lean in and they expect you to back off and give them right away.
Missed the free throw. So the lead is 10, 55-45. Raptors work it around to Barnes on the wing near side. Scotty put it on the floor, got to the free throw and left his shot short, but Ochai tracks it down, finds Barrett in the near corner, 3-ball no good, and nobody underneath for Toronto. All Atlanta on the glass right now, leading 20-15. The Raptors are in terms of rebounding, but they missed a big one right there. Hunter, near side, jumper up and in. He took contact, wanted a call, didn't get it, but still hit the bucket. Lead is 12. Barrett to Grady, far corner, it's Ochai. Up top to Barrett. Swing it over to Grady in the near corner, and he missed the triple, and battling down low, the Raptors could not get to the ball, and Scotty Barnes just took an elbow, I believe, to the head, to the top of the head. And that's going to be a foul on Hunter.
Raptors have had some decent looks lately.
.258 until halftime. Raptors trying to battle back again, trailing 57-45. Toronto inbounding from the far side. It'll be RJ Barrett to do the honors. And Grady Dick gets the bucket off the inbound.
Nice job by Grady coming across. Poor closeout, and he just drove it.
Now 2:45 left in the first half, and we've got another Raptor foul being called, and that's going to send Atlanta to the free throw line. It's going to go against Ochai, sending Trae Young to the stripe. And Young takes care of business. 14 points, 6 assists in the first half for Trae Young. 2:40 left in the first half as Barnes drives on the near side. Looked like he had a chance for a dunk as Capella came. He stopped on a dime and stepped under on a soft little reverse leg.
In his head was saying, I'm not going to get this call, so let me do it the other way.
Either way, he got the deuce. Raptors trailing 59-49, and a thunderous alley-oop dunk on the other end. Clint Capella.
If Scotty stands in, he takes the charge on the pass. That dunk gets wiped out.
61-49. Barnes again into the paint. Goes right at the Atlanta defense. A late whistle comes in on the foul, and I believe it's going on, Clint Capella over the back of Scotty to send Barnes to the strike.
Oh, size-wise, that's an even matchup. Mobility, ball handling, breakdown ability, it's not.
You asked for a score update earlier. Your Cleveland Browns are now down 20-3 to the Miami Dolphins with 2:46 to go.
Well, that's over. If you've got 3 points in 56 minutes, you're not going to miraculously come up with 3 touchdowns in 2 minutes.
I'll shave my beard and Jonesy will grow one if somehow the Browns come back to win that game. Big win for Miami as their playoff hopes, I believe, stay alive, thanks to Indianapolis losing today to the New York Giants.
The
there
little
are
Giants.
A number of teams still alive in the AFC, including, I believe, Denver, Miami, and Cincinnati, as it will all come down to the final week next week for that last seed in the AFC playoff picture. got a foul going against the Raptors, sending Trae Young back to the free throw line as they're going to get the foul on Grady Dick. Atlanta leading by 10, make it 11 as Young knocks down the first free throw. He's become one of the, as I know you talked about the floppers, but specifically with New York, he's become one of the fun villains in the league.
Yeah.
I like that he kind of plays it up in other places too. Like he hams it up with the crowd, he interacts, he knows he's good, he likes hitting those deep shots, and I like the showmanship and the gamesmanship.
I'm okay with that, I am, especially in New York.
Barnes, rough looking pass to Ochai, led him too far, but luckily the Raptors got bailed out as it goes off Atlanta. The Hawks are trying to check that thing with 1:41 to go, and Quinn Snyder says, yep, I want to have a look, and he might win this one. I couldn't tell, Jonesy, but it did look like it was off Toronto.
I thought it hit Jalen Johnson last.
Right. Well, Johnson was one of the ones telling his coach to go for it, so we'll see. With 1:41 to go in the first half, and the Raptors
timeout to challenge the rule of out of bounds on the play.
Currently trailing by 12. So we mentioned earlier in the broadcast the crazy schedule for the Raptors. They have lost 9 straight heading into the ballgame tonight. And after this game, they will hop on a flight tomorrow to head to Boston, getting set to face the Celtics on New Year's Eve in an afternoon game. That one at 3 o'clock Eastern. You can hear it right here on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Then they come back home for the back-to-back, playing Brooklyn on New Year's Day at 7:30. And that opens up a mini 3-game homestand with then Orlando on Friday and Milwaukee the following Monday. Bonkers schedule, to say the least. And a schedule that doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense with the in and out in terms of road, home, going all over the place. But what do I know? Jones, you've had a chance to look at it a couple of times. What do you think? Do you still think it went off Johnson? I thought it was off Ochai, but we'll see.
I thought it hit the bottom of Johnson's left hand.
Okay.
But
tough to tell. We've seen it a couple of times. One angle, it certainly looks like it's absolutely off Ochai. Then the other angle, it looks like you might have been right that it did hit Johnson. Trying to do that science project that you often assign to me where you talk about the angle of verticality or whatever the heck you're talking about.
And I'm just looking at the change of direction of the ball or the change in spin.
Angle of verticality, the Pythagorean theorem. I don't know what we're talking about, Jonesy. With 1:41 to go here in the first half, a big play for the Raptors as they're down by 12 already.
All right, here's Carl Lane.
After review, the ball last touched the Toronto player. Therefore, this is a successful challenge. Atlanta will retain possession of the ball. They will retain their timeout since it's the second of the quarter and their ability to challenge further in the game. 24 seconds on the shot clock.
There you have it. Got to get our man Carl Lane to step a little closer to the mic so you don't hear that buzzing in the background. You got to cozy up like you're one of the guys that loves the camera time.
Zach Zarba, Bill Kennedy.
Oh, Bill Kennedy's at the top of the list for sure. Who's our guy that we had just a couple of games ago that was given
Mark
Bill
Lindsay.
Kennedy? Was it Mark Lindsay?
Mark Lindsay?
I'm not sure. Might have been. Either way, Raptors lose the challenge, trailing by 12. Atlanta's got the ball, a chance to tack on a couple more right here. Far corner triple is no good. And that was Johnson that missed it, but the ball comes back to Atlanta with a fresh 14. Young has it straight away. Bear it up on him as we tick towards the final 1:15 of this first half. Young crossover into a 3 over Barrett. Missed it. Down low, Capella was held.
No, he was pushing.
No, they're going to call it on Toronto, Jonesy. They're going to get it on Ochai.
Wow. Looked like Capella was pushing with that right arm and secured it with the left. Trae Young, nice step back move off the carry.
So it's 63-51. Atlanta leading by 12. Their largest lead, 14. They can match it right now with a couple of free throws. And Capella knocks down the first one. 9.7 rebounds in this first half for Capella as Kelly Olynyk's going to pop off the bench and check in here for the final 1:14. Give Ochai a breather as Abaji sits down with 3 points and 3 fouls. Capella, funky looking release on the second free throw, missed it. 1 of 2 at the stripe, the lead is 13. Barnes to Grady with the up fake, put it on the floor, got into the lane at the far elbow, turns, fires a backdoor pass to Chris Boucher, who's fouled right at the rim, and Boucher is going to get 2 free throws.
Good cut by Chris. And a good find.
So Boucher heads to the stripe off the bench tonight, 4 points and a rebound in 7 minutes of action. Boucher at the stripe. The first one is up and clean. Raptors again trailed by 12. Toronto still shooting just under 56%, but 17 first half turnovers have really, really hurt the Raptors. Second free throw, good for Boucher. Raptors trail by 11. Bringing it across center is Johnson for the Hawks. Johnson picked up by Grady Dick on the near side, driving. Got down toward the 10, cut off by 3 Raptors. Goes back up top. In the lane, Hunter turns around, fires back in the near corner to Johnson for 3. Missed that one, and the Raptors secure the rebound.
Man.
Barrett in the lane, lots of contact, no call as he leaned in and got the bucket.
It looked like offensive line blocking there by DeAndre Hunter. 2 hands crossed in front of his chest, and Darko with his arms out saying, can we get a call?
Raptors putting pressure on Trae Young out near center. But a 4-second differential. Shot clock, game clock. Looked like Krejci just carried as he then passes it off in the lane. Missing the shot was Hunter. The officials say that from the far wing and somehow managed to get it to go. And the Raptors head into the break trailing by just 6. What a shot from Chris Boucher.
Really, really fortunate the Raptors able to get a stop and a late score. And all of a sudden, this thing is suddenly manageable after being down, well, as many as 14 in this first half.
It's 64-58. Raptors trailing by 6. As we hit halftime, Amit Man will be back with our halftime show. Then Jonesy and I return for second half action on Toronto Raptors basketball. Brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Sam had aspirations of opening a clothing boutique. She called Alpine Credits and was sent a speedy superhero to help with a business loan. Super speed doesn't translate to radio, but when our hero runs, she sounds like this. If you ran at the speed of light, you'd sound funny too. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
Dreaming of sunshine and the beach? This Boxing Week, redtag.ca brings you exclusive savings that make travel dreams come true. Book now and unbox the an instant discount of up to $200 off select vacations. That's on top of incredible deals on flights, hotels, cruises, and more. Why wait? It's too cold here. Your beach escape is calling. Visit redtag.ca or call 1-866-5REDTAG to get your promo code. Offer ends December 31st. Don't miss out. Certain conditions apply.
redtag.ca. This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Hello, my name is Amit Mann. The halftime show is brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game. So the Raptors trail the Atlanta Hawks 64-58 at half. Very fun half, capped by a Chris Boucher, Christ the Redeemer pose as he nailed a buzzer beater three. Good stuff from him. Good stuff from the Raptors in a lot of areas, not all areas, but one of the best things about this first half was that Bruce Brown returned, and he was terrific, right? Like during pregame, he was bouncing around the court, vibing to music, lots of smiles. Very cool moment for him to be able to return after missing the entire season so far. But he came back and he was terrific. Another story which we'll get to in the second part of this halftime show, turnovers. Holy smokes, a lot of turnovers. When you have 5 turnovers in the first 2 minutes of the game, not a great start. And obviously Trae Young, just an incredible player, and he has a game on a string right now. The Raptors are trying to contain him, but they're going to be hard-pressed to do that in this second half here. Bruce Brown, as I mentioned, 8 points so far. Scotty Barnes, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. R.J. Barrett chipping in 11. And then on the Hawks side of things, Trae Young, 17 points, 6 assists, shooting 4 of 11 so far, but 4 of 8 from 3. And then DeAndre Hunter, 17 points off the bench. The Hawks are missing a few key rotation pieces, and they need someone to step up, and he's doing just that for them. And also, Clint Capella, 9 points, 7 rebounds. He's off to a great start. It seems like he's going to be getting another double-double probably in this game from 3. 8 of 19 for the Hawks so far, and for the Raptors, 3 of 11. We'll continue breaking down the first half of action when we return. And as we get to commercial here, just stay tuned, all right? We're going to have lots of fun. So you are listening to Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and sportsnet.ca.
Direct! Greg Carrasco here, the Greg Carrasco. Big news. I am now the managing partner at Direct Nissan in Mississauga. For 30 years, you've trusted me to steer you right. So if you're one of my customers or you just love a great deal, come on down. You will laugh, you'll cry, and you might even drive away with a deal that will blow your mind. Direct Nissan. New vibe, same Greg. There is something happening here at directnissan.ca.
Direct! What a tackle! Let's go to the sidelines.
You're in the zone today, Matt. Really on your game.
Yeah, getting more sleep, not snoring all night. What a huge difference it can make.
Problem snoring? Suffer from sleep apnea? Invest in yourself. Call Dr. Paulette Pillersdorf. She'll use her laser to help treat your snoring and oral appliance like a sports mouth guard for your sleep apnea. Your partner will thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Book your appointment with Dr. Paulette Pillersdorf. Call 647-243-2006.
Dreaming of sunshine and the beach? This Boxing Week, redtag.ca brings you exclusive savings that make travel dreams come true. Book now and unbox an instant discount of up to $200 off select vacations. That's on top of incredible deals on flights, hotels, cruises, and more. Why wait? It's too cold here. Your beach escape is calling. Visit redtag.ca or call 1-866-5REDTAG to get your promo code. Offer ends December 31st. Don't miss out. Certain conditions apply.
redtag.ca.
Check out 32 Thoughts, the podcast, brought to you by the GMC Sierra AT4X. Where some roads end, other journeys begin. With off-road suspension, selectable traction modes, and up to 14 available camera views, the Sierra AT4X is engineered for the roughest terrain. So, when you're faced against adversity, will you break or break through? Experience the peak of premium off-roading today at gmccanada.ca to see the Sierra AT4X.
As a homeowner in the GTA, you know it can be a long journey before your home runs smoothly and worry-free. But thanks to our experts at Enercare, you don't have to do it alone. We're available with affordable solutions every step of the way. Whether it's heating, cooling, water heating, or water purification, You get peace of mind knowing that you're backed by our very best. With 65 years of helping Ontarians, we'll always be here when you need us.
Enercare, experts at home.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
We're back on the halftime show. Amit Mann here. The Raptors trail the Atlanta Hawks 64-58 so far. And let's look at the good things from this first half, because there were some bad, but hey, let's start positive. It's a holiday season, baby. All right, Bruce Brown returned, and he was really good. Like, when you come back from an injury after such a long hiatus, and there was so much uncertainty on when he would return and how he would look, but like the choppy feet, the hustle around screens, his ability to get in the lane, to be able to hit those pretty deep floaters, that was all popping for him, and these are things that we're familiar with Bruce, as assuming that he is healthy, and he looked great in that first half of action. Played a lot of minutes. Scotty Barnes, his mid-range pull-up, he loves doing that bump into a step back or into a mid-range pull-up shot, and that was kind of going for him. He looked pretty good as a point guard in that first half. Now, down the stretch, it got a little dicey as the Hawks mixed up their coverage a little bit. The turnovers happened, and the Raptors are going to have to adjust to that heading into the second half. But it's important that he maintains his pace of play. When Scotty slows down, that's when things get bad for him, right? When he's not just like has that high motor, because when he has that motor, like, he's special. And that's something that really does diversify him and make him different from a lot of players in the NBA, is that when he's going down the lane, like, you can't really stop him, right? There's few players that can stop that freight train. So he's got to continue doing that, continue to lead by example. But the turnovers have to be limited. Like, holy smokes, man. So when you turn the ball over 17 times and a half, and usually you would think that would mean that points off turnovers would be really, really, really lopsided. But the Hawks are leading in that category 14 to 11. But where it does show up is the amount of shots that you take. The Raptors, 38 shots. The Hawks, 48. The Raptors just weren't able to get up enough shots, at least compared to the Atlanta Hawks, because they were constantly turning it over. And a lot of them were just silly plays. Like, I don't know what it is, like, holiday fingers or greasy fingers or just like a lack of focus. It could have been that, but they got to clean it up, because that's far too many turnovers, and you're not going to be able to keep up offensively with the Hawks if you continue to play that way. This could be this is one of their healthier games for the Raptors. It might be their healthiest of all season, considering that the Kelly's playing and Bruce is back. And yeah, they're missing IQ still, but looking at it, there could be some unfamiliarity between some of the players of just understanding each other's tendencies. That could be something, and maybe they can clean that up in the second half, but something that they got to figure out going into the rest of this calendar year, of course, and also next year, is that you can't be turning the ball over that much, and you want to play a free-flowing style, which is fun. I like free-flowing, but you can't be flowing the ball into the other team's hands either. So they got to figure that out in the second half. And defensively, how do you want to stop Trae Young? How do you want to do it? They were throwing a lot of different coverages at him in terms of the pick and roll. They were switching a little bit, high hedges, soft hedges. You got to mix it up against Trae, because once he sees a little bit too much of something, now he's figured it out. Now he's a step ahead of you, right? So they got to keep on doing that. But also, I think they should just maybe do more switching onto Trae. Just make him go one-on-one and let's see if he can actually take, a Jakob or a Big or Scotty, or whoever the case is, into some of those matchups. They were mixing in Scotty as a center a little bit, at least against Clint Capella, so that way they can switch that pick and roll between Capella and Trae Young, and that's something I think they should do more of, just to at least determine how he's going to score the ball. If there's a whole bunch of isolation buckets, then so be it, but you can't let him just kind of get rolling and pick and roll, and then you give him space, and now he's into his floater, throwing oops, and then a lot of dunks for Capella, as I see him looking at me right here. You got to limit those, right? Easy baskets are a no-no, so you got to make it tough on him. Best way to do that, show length, show bodies, be frantic, just like Bruce Brown was as he's out here warming up for halftime. He was really good in that first half. It's great to see him back on the court. All right, Eric and Paul got you from here. That was your halftime show. When we return, it will be the second half of action, and we will talk to you at postgame. Take it easy.
If it's a flat, wherever you go, you can get a pro at Tread Experts.
The new Michelin Defender 2 tire is designed to outlast. With With a quiet and comfortable ride, you'll have the confidence you need on the roads, whether they're wet or dry. Find a Michelin Tread Experts dealer near you at treadexperts.ca/locations.
From tires to auto repair, we're always there. TreadExperts.ca.
Whether it's towing your big toys or hauling gear for the job site, the Toyota Tundra handles it all without breaking a sweat. By the end, you'll be standing there wishing you could high-five that truck. That's what we call being Tundra-struck. It's time to be impressed. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2025 Tundra 4x4 Crewmax SR from $141 weekly for 28 months at 4.99% with $5,800 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer today.
Men, are you tired of feeling off your game? Put your health back in order at Game Day Men's Health. Testosterone replacement therapy, ED treatment, weight loss, and vitamin therapy in spaces designed for men. Privacy, comfort, flat screen TVs, and zero fluff. Visit GameDayOntario.com to lock in your free testosterone test and consultation. That's GameDayOntario.com. Start living your best with Game Day Men's Health.
You built your business from the ground up. Now let Rogers Sports and Media take it to new heights. Book your next radio or podcast advertising campaign with Rogers Sports and Media Ad Manager. Designed for businesses of all sizes, our SM Ad Manager is self-serve and simple to use. We'll even give you a $250 ad credit to build your first campaign today. And your audio can be produced at no extra cost. Visit grow.rogersportsandmedia.com to claim your ad credit today.
Ontario is building up our nursing workforce. Since 2018, nearly 100,000 new nurses have registered to work in Ontario. Last year, we added a record of over 18,000 new nurses with another 30,000 nursing students in school. We're investing millions in new programs that pay for nurses' education and breaking down barriers so they can get to work sooner. Learn more at ontario.ca/yourhealth. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. As we get set to start the second half, the Raptors will begin the third quarter trailing by 6, 64-58. The Raptors with a mini flurry right towards the end of the first half, including the buzzer-beating triple for Chris Boucher that helped cut an Atlanta lead that was 12 down to 6 as we went into the break. Atlanta did have a lead as high as 14 at one point in the first half. So if Toronto can start taking care of the ball, we could see a much different second half, with the Raptors still shooting 58% in this game. But 17 first half turnovers, and the half starts with a foul against Clint Capella, sending Jakob Poeltl to the free throw line.
Good start for the Raptors. They didn't turn it over. And, I mean, if you're Toronto, that's huge.
And for those following along at home in the National Football League, it just went final. The Vikings beat the Packers 27-25. So Minnesota improves to 14-12, and they will play the Detroit Lions for number 1 in the NFC next week. Poeltl at the stripe. Hit the first one, second one, up and clean. Great job by the big man to take care of business at the free throw line. And the Raptors have cut it to 4 at 64-60. I believe we'll be off the air by the time the Sunday Nighter starts, or certainly by the time the Sunday Nighter is maybe a quarter old. Into the lane, floating it up and in, off glass and in was Risachet. He's got 9 in the ball game. Lead grows to 6 for Atlanta. Poeltl, the trailer, grabs the ball. Finding Grady Dick off the screen, turns into the jumper. The triple no good, but it's cleaned up down low by Poeltl. And in traffic with 3 Hawks there, he gets it to go off glass and in. Welcome back to the lineup, Jakob Poeltl. He's been an absolute beast yet again tonight. Atlanta answering, though, with a 3 ball, and again, it's Risachet.
Got to keep them from getting going in this half. At least you're not turning it over to start. That's what really killed Toronto in the first part of the game.
Raptors come up empty on the other end. That was Barrett with a three-pointer, no good, and then getting into the lane, trying to finish at the rim, was Johnson, who was fouled, and Jalen Johnson's going to go to the free throw line. So Atlanta leading by 7. They're going to try and push it a little bit higher right now. We're a minute 8 into the third quarter. And the Hawks have the lead at 7. Again, it was 6 at the break. It now grows to 8 on the first free throw from Jalen Johnson. Relatively quiet night for him thus far, just 2 of 9. Does have 4 steals in the ballgame. Atlanta as a team with 13 steals. Misses the second free throw. Ochai with the rebound, gets it ahead to Barnes, who's sprinting down the floor on the near side. Stops at the near elbow extended. Surveying the defense, gives it up to Jakob Poeltl right above that near elbow. Hands it off to Ochai on the perimeter. Steps into the 3, missed it down low. It's all Atlanta on the glass. Abaji tonight, just 1 of 3 from the floor overall. All of them from the perimeter. Young turning the corner on the near side. Got toward the baseline and then hands it off to Johnson. Off glass and in. Got the bucket, and Darko calls the timeout.
Now, minute 40 seconds in. It's almost like a staple for Darko on those quick timeouts. I mean, the difference is, 4 points? I can see what he's doing, maybe not trying to let it slip, but you got to try and manage those timeouts for the end of the game.
10:20 to go in the third quarter. The Raptors now trailing by 10 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
Do you get excited about Boxing Week deals? Then if it's the case, you won't want to miss our Boxing Week sale at Energy Power Sports. Hi, I'm Jean-Luc Lemire. Enjoy Boxing Week deals throughout the entire store with savings of up to 30, 40, or even 50% off non-current helmets, accessories, apparel, and riding gear from Ski-Doo, Can-Am, and Sea-Doo. Start your shopping early and save. Visit us at Energy Power Sports in Oakville today until January 2nd for your Boxing Week specials.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 10:20 to go in the third quarter. Bruce Brown's going to check into the ballgame, Jonesy. Coming out of this timeout, less than 90 seconds or just over 90 seconds into the third quarter. And as he checks in,
I do like that move.
As he checks in, he puts a little bit of lotion on his hands, and one of the fans sitting front row in Gucci Row kind of puts out her hand like, hey, I could use a little lotion. And Bruce Brown accommodates and leans over, squirts a little from the bottle into her hands and gives that lady a little bit of lotion. You know, it's cold out, her dry hand season. Bruce Brown just trying to take care of everybody.
Classy to ashy, man. Get that lotion.
I was going to say something. I'm glad I didn't, because I'm not sure if it would have been acceptable. So I'm leaving it alone right now. And Jakob Poeltl goes to the tin and flushes it down. Went right at Capella and got the two-hand cram. Raptors cut it back into single digits at 8. It's 72-64, stepping into a 3-ball on the far sideline. That one no good for Krejci, and we come back the other way. Abaji looking for Barrett, sloppy pass. Left his feet, easy pickoff the other way. Atlanta comes up empty, lots of contact, no call, we play on. Atlanta, though, with the ball, got a fresh 14. And then Krejci is bumped out of bounds, allegedly, right in front of the Raptor bench. And they're going to call a foul on Scotty Barnes. So Atlanta will get another fresh 14 and get set to inbound just to the left of the Raptor bench.
It just looked like Krejci was off balance. He was too high. His center of gravity extended. Couldn't pivot. and fell out of bounds.
Trae Young dribbling toward the painted area, felt the contact from Baji, took it, embellished it, and he's going to get to the line, and now Ochai is going to pick up his 4th foul.
I'm sorry, we hear all these things in the preseason when we meet with the refs about non-basketball plays and unusual launch angles and stuff. Trae Young beats a guy and then jumps back into him to get the call.
Raptors trail by 9 as Trae Young knocks down the free throw. 6 of 6 at the stripe tonight, 4 of 11 from the floor, and all of his field goals from distance. Knocks down the second free throw. He's got 19 points in the ballgame. That's a team high, game high. Raptors with the ball, turned it over again. And a dunk on the other end for Risache increases the lead to 12, and another timeout. A quick one from Darko Rajakovic, and Jonesy, he called for the timeout, turned and stepped onto the floor, and Jalen Johnson ran into Darko and got hit on the top of the head and is down on the floor right now, right in front of us. It was completely inadvertent, but the coach had stepped out onto the floor and collided with the player. We're going to delay the... I apologize, Jones. I take it back. He did run into Darko briefly after he got hit by his own teammates. He ran into Darko because he had his head down and ran into Darko's hip and legs, but it was after he was hit by his own teammate coming away from the fray after the bucket. So, lest I misidentify what actually happened, he did run into Darko, but Darko was not the reason for the player being hurt right now. It was his own teammate. 9:20 to go in the third. And the Raptors have now fallen down by 12. It's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
As a homeowner in the GTA, you know it can be a long journey before your home runs smoothly and worry-free. But thanks to our experts at EnerCare, you don't have to do it alone. We're available with affordable solutions every step of the way. Whether it's heating, cooling, water heating, or water purification, you get peace of mind knowing that you're backed by our very best. With 65 years of helping Ontarians, we'll always be here when you need us.
EnerCare, experts at home.
If it's a flat or a squeal, a wobble or peel, your tread's worn down or you need a new wheel, wherever you go, you can get a pro at Tread Experts.
The new Michelin Defender 2 tire is designed to outlast. With a quiet and comfortable ride, you'll have the confidence you need on the roads, whether they're wet or dry. Find a Michelin Tread Experts dealer near you at treadexperts.ca/locations.
From tires to auto repair, we're always there. treadexperts.ca.
Ontario is building up our nursing workforce. Since 2018, nearly 100,000 new nurses have registered to work in Ontario. Last year, we added a record of over 18,000 new nurses, with another 30,000 nursing students in school. We're investing millions in new programs that pay for nurses' education and breaking down barriers so they can get to work sooner. Learn more at ontario.ca/yourhealth. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back to Scotiabank Arena. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 9:20 to go in the third quarter. Atlanta led by 6 at the break. They've doubled that up here in the opening 2 minutes and 40 seconds. The lead now sits at 12. As Toronto brings it across center out of the timeout, it's Jamal Shed. Out on the wing far side, bounces a pass above the far elbow to Pirtle, looking to hand it off to Barrett, and he does. RJ with 11 in the ballgame, dances his way into traffic, tried to go up and under, but left it too short, not enough spin off glass. And Atlanta the other way, Young was looking for Johnson on an alley-oop and going high for it like a DB with Scotty Barnes. Raptors back to Bruce Brown, running floater in the lane, left it short. Pirtle secured it, and then he's wrapped up by Capella. We're going to have a jump ball. .8:47 to go third quarter. It'll be Capella and Pirtle jumping it up toward the Bay Street end of Scotiabank Arena. Yak tonight in his return to the lineup, 8 points and 3 rebounds. And he wins the tip. Ball tapped around, secured by Bruce Brown, who finds Pirtle to a cutting shed in the paint, gives it back to Pirtle, who dunks it down. Great ball movement, probably contact again, no call, but we play on with the Raptors down 10.
Good job. Great ball movement there. Darko in the ear of Ray Acosta. Again, I don't blame Darko.
Deep triple straight away, Trae Young. That's all he's done tonight is hit threes, but he's got a game-high 22, and Atlanta leads by 13. It stays that way as Toronto comes up empty on the other end. The Barnes jumper from 12 feet, no good. A bucket here is Atlanta's largest lead. Far corner, contested, missing, Risachet, rebound, Capella battling with Barrett, and they're going to call a foul on the floor against RJ.
How did they call that? Two grown men fighting for the ball. How did they call that? Like, again, Eric, I'll go back to getting on my soapbox. That's a judgment call, but it goes as a foul in the foul column, and people will look and say, well, the Raptors foul more than anybody. Why? Because of those kinds of judgments.
7:55 to go third quarter. Raptors have been whistled for 17 fouls tonight. Atlanta with 10. Young, far sideline, free ball, up, no good for Krejci. Raptors with the rebound, Barrett to Barnes across center. Scotty, 5 of 6 in the ball game. Check that, 5 of 8. Got to get my eyes checked. Triple is good as he gives it up to Barrett, who rips the cords from the far sideline. 10-point lead for Atlanta. Raptors try to battle back yet again. In the lane, Johnson looking for Capella. Clint missed it. Ball knocked around, picked up by the Raptors. Another Hawks turnover. Here comes Brown down Main Street, turns around, fires out to RJ, far side. Missed it. It's an air ball, but it's cleaned up by Brown. Up top to Barnes, down Main Street. And what are they calling now? A travel?
Yeah, they're going to call travel.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if a memo went out to the league with Scotty Barnes and travels, but he's been called for that 3 or 4 times over the last few ball games.
Meanwhile, you got guys like Tyrese Maxey and Vic Krejci tonight catching the ball, sounding like something out of the Flintstones with both feet moving.
Cutting behind the Atlanta defense, Bruce Brown with the touchdown pass and finish after the Trae Young bucket on the other end. So we trade deuces as the lead still stays at 10. Darko trying to work the officials right now. Young over the shoulder pass out to a wide open Johnson. 3-ball left short, but Atlanta gets the rebound. Risachet over to Krejci in the corner to Young in front of the Raptor bench. 3-ball is up and in, and the lead grows to 13 as Young turns and sticks his tongue out at the Raptor bench. Barnes down the heart of the lane, runs into the defender, gets bounced backwards, and they say play on. Young, far side, deep one, left short, long rebound, tracked down by Atlanta. Second chance opportunity with the Hawks leading 84-71. Young, double team, gets away from it, passes it out to Krejci, puts it on the floor, got into the lane, scoops it up and in around Jakob Poeltl. 15-point lead, Atlanta's largest of the game. Barnes loses the handle. Sloppy turnover there, coming down the other end, dunking it down, Johnson. And that time he was fouled. He's got a beef on that one. But it's a 17-point lead for Atlanta as Darko calls another timeout. Things falling apart for the Raptors in this third quarter.
Well, that one, a definitive live ball turnover by Scotty. And he just didn't get back, but you can't turn it over.
Toronto has coughed up 21 turnovers in 22 minutes. Or excuse me, in 27 minutes. But 21 turnovers leading to 22 Atlanta points, Jonesy. Toronto's still shooting 53% from the floor. But it doesn't matter because of all of these turnovers and the fact that Atlanta has had 12 more field goal attempts than the Raptors. And in fact, they have attempted 11 more triples and made 7 more 3-balls.
That'll do it.
There's 21 points right there.
Yeah, 21 points, but as you said, the turnovers. 21 turnovers. And we're not We're 2.5 quarters.
Did we look up the season high yet on that?
Not yet. I'll look at the
You're
end
still
of the third.
avoiding it? End of the third
Still
quarter? I
avoiding
think you said you were going to look at the half.
All right, I'll
now
look
you're saying you don't want to look until...
No, I don't. It's
well,
ugly.
let's leave it. We'll leave it.
It's a bad number either way you look at it. It's not going to be good news. The number and the fact that the Raptors are actually threatening it right now. And that number, Eric, is 27 against Philadelphia.
Barrett into the near corner to Brown. Bruce Brown looks at a three, knocks it down. They're going to call it a long two. Forgot to cut his toenails before coming back as the Raptors trail by 15. 88-73. Brown now hounding Hunter, who finds Wallace, swings it over. Atlanta working it around the perimeter. Yep, it was. Wallace finds Hunter, misses with the three ball, and a great job there by Pirtle to secure the rebound.
And Darko saying that to Musa Dagger, if that was a travel on Barnes, it was a travel on Atlanta.
Shed to Brown, sideline, triple, no good. Pirtle battling against Okongwu, got the rebound. Bruce Brown catches the pass from Pirtle and scooped it too high off glass. It bounded out of the tin. Hunter down the floor at the rim. There for the contestants, Pirtle. Was that ball on the rim there? Okongwu, they say it's clean. Tips it in. It's 90-73. Lead grows back to 17 for Atlanta, and Pirtle just got his pocket picked. Down the floor comes Okongwu. Big two-hand cram, and the lead is 19. The Raptors with 22 turnovers. Brown, far side, getting away from the defender and then taking a bump from behind from Risache. And Toronto will inbound from the far side with 4:11 to go in the third. It was a 6-point game at the half, and things have gotten away from the Raptors here in this third quarter. Bruce Brown checking out of the ball game now, and he was signaling toward the bench, and I'm looking to see if he was signaling towards one of the trainers.
Well, I think he was just tired. He was signaling like, I need a break. Let's see if Rehan Malik goes to look at his knee. He has.
He looked like he was wincing just a little bit, Jonesy. So Bruce Brown is being checked out on the bench right now, not heading to the locker room. And he's still being looked at by the training staff. As play resumes, Grady Dick driving into the lane, left hand, scooped it up, missed it. Tough shot there for Grady. Down low, it was cleaned up by Olynyk, who tried to elevate quickly. Smart play by Olynyk. He was fouled, and he's going to go to the free throw line.
Good job by Grady turning the corner. I thought he took some contact, but Olynyk doing a nice job of just following up.
Grady Dick tonight, 3 of 10 for 6 points in the ball game.
Well, Rehan Malik, head athletic trainer, is back in his seat, so whatever it is with Bruce Brown, it doesn't look to be that bad.
Brown right now chatting with R.J. Barrett on the Raptor bench. Barrett tonight with 14 points in the ball game. Brown with 12 on 6 of 11 shooting in 16 minutes in his return to the lineup for the first time this season. Free throws from Olynyk, good. Raptors still down big, though. It's 92-75. See if they can make a bit of a push here in the final few minutes of the third quarter. Krejci out on the far side, hounded by Boucher. Gives it up to Okongwu, looking for Hunter. Got it to him. Back to Okongwu, who lays it up and in, plus contact from Walter, and a three-point opportunity coming for Atlanta could push their lead to 20.
Superior size on that play. That's all that was. Okongwu in the lane and fouled by a smaller player in Walter.
So Okongwu takes a deep breath at the stripe, awaiting his first free throw off the bench with 10 points in 11 minutes. Make it 11 points in 11 minutes. And the lead has grown to 20. Atlanta has outscored the Raptors by 14 thus far in this third quarter. Hunter trying to sell a call, saying that Barnes hit him in the face. They say play on. As do so, finds Olynyk, gives it up to Barnes. Shot clock down to 5. Scotty in the lane. Fake the pass, scoops it up, gets the bucket, and one. A three-point opportunity coming for Scotty Barnes.
I like the fact that The Raptors kept moving. Listen, if they could ever hang on to the ball, Atlanta's got 12, as you said, Eric, 12 more field goal attempts. 11 of those are threes. I mean, they've got 11 more three-ball attempts than Toronto.
Jones, not to by any means pick on one guy. There's plenty to, point the finger at with 22 turnovers tonight. But Scotty Barnes has a third of the turnovers. Atlanta just turned the ball over, and the Raptors just turned it right back again. Down the floor, Olynyk got back and got a contest in there on Hunter. Took the foul. Olynyk thought it was clean, but the official says, nope, that's a foul. They blow the whistle, and they send Hunter to the line. The reason I bring that up about Scotty, it's not like it's just the product of a young team or young players making miscues. It's veterans and experienced players alike that are coughing it up for Toronto.
They're just loose with the ball, Eric. I mean, they had a 3-on-1 here a minute ago, and Boucher threw the pass at the feet of Grady. Fundamentals.
First free throw is no good. Not sure why the fans are getting this jacked up right now, but I'll take it. Make any noise you can right now. Try and rally on the Raptor team. Folks going crazy right now, hoping Hunter will miss the second one. 95-78, free throw up and clean. 96-78. Raptors down 18, 3:10 to go in the third as Barnes brings it across center. 15 points, 5 assists, 4 boards in the game. Finds Grady Dick. Grady, backdoor cut, was looking for Barrett. Barrett missed it, but it's cleaned up by Olynyk, and he missed the layup, felt the presence of Okongwu. Back the other way comes Atlanta. 3-ball far side is good for Hunter. Off the bench with 21.
He's had a terrific year. Like I said, he and Jalen Johnson are the two guys
Hawks have scored 35 in the quarter. We still have 2:40 to go. Barnes in the near corner. Gave it up to Grady on a 3-ball. He missed it, but they're going to call a foul on Matthews.
No, I think they got it on.
Yep, Matthews.
Matthews, okay. Krejci was saying, I stood in for the charge, but that charge was after the foul by Matthews.
.240 to go in the ball game, in the third quarter. Raptors trailing 99-79 as the first free throw is knocked down by Scotty Barnes. Jones, you want to take a moment right now, and I'm sure you would echo these sentiments, to pass along our condolences to a colleague, Greg Gumbel, who passed away in the last couple of days. One of the all-time greats.
Yep, I hear that music from the CBS NCAA theme and think of Greg Gumbel. And listen, I was going to say, as a young black man breaking into the business, there weren't many people that looked like me. And when I met him at a Blue Jay game back in the late 80s, early 90s, he was very complimentary and inspirational. No, that's a tough one to take.
99-80, Raptors trailing by 19 as they get the ball back off an empty trip for Atlanta. Kelly Olynyk bumped going to the 10. Didn't get the bucket, but he's going to get 2 free throws. And just to go back to Gumbel for a moment, one of the things that stands out about him, and folks, hopefully I think if you're a sports fan, you can have an appreciation for this as well, is not only somebody that can broadcast multiple sports, but that can do it as a host, as a play-by-play guy, to wear different hats and to be able to do so with such ease and to make those transitions so smoothly and to work with so many different people over the course of his career.
Well,
and as you say, to not only touch, and 100% would agree with you, I can't speak to it, but as a young black man growing up, whether it be in the U.S. or in Canada, Jonesy, for you, but just as a young, aspiring broadcaster in general, he was a fantastic role model for even me and so many others to watch as well.
He had a conversation with my brother Mark when Mark was starting out his career and covering the Blue Jays. And Mark said, I'd like to think that one day I can be good enough to go to the U.S. And Gumbel looked him in the eye right then and there in August of '88 at the Sky Dome and said, I saw your sportscast this morning on the Loop. You're good enough right now. Get after it. That was in May of '88. By September, Mark was at ABC. And Greg Gumbel was a big, big part of that.
Atlanta just turned the ball over, and guess what?
They called a travel.
Johnson was called for a travel. Raptors have a chance here to get it down. to 15, maybe 14, trailing 99-82. Scotty trying to muscle his way down low. One-on-one battle right now, and he lost it initially with Hunter as he missed the shot. Then they couldn't track down the rebound. Scotty went right at Hunter on that one, and now Atlanta comes back the other way, cutting to the tin. Okongwu is fouled by Boucher, and he's going to go to the line for two with the Raptors trailing 99-82. Boucher had the hands straight up in the air, Jonesy, but he was kind of moving sideways, right?
Well, he was.
Boucher with his first foul of the ball game, and Okongwu misses the first free throw. Just over 90 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Again, it was a 6-point game at the half. It's currently a 17-point game as Atlanta has controlled this third quarter. Okongwu misses the second free throw. So 0 for 2 at the stripe. Atlanta just 1 for their last 4 at the free throw line. See if the Raptors can get a couple more right here. Olynyk over on the far side on the wing. It's Scotty Barnes. Barnes finding Jacoby Walter. Cross court in the corner, near corner. Chris Boucher, wide open triple, no good, right in front of the Atlanta bench. Loose ball is there, battling for it down low. It's Kelly Olynyk, and how long are they going to let this go? Like, you had Olynyk down there on the floor, 2 Atlanta players there. Like, Jonesy, we've seen whistles come way faster before. And it's going to be a jump ball now, I believe, between Olynyk and Hunter.
Yeah.
Olynyk had the ball in his hands and then under his legs. Hunter had one hand on the ball. Kelly smartly tucked it under his leg, trying to keep it away from Hunter. And Atlanta comes away with the ball off the jump. That makes no sense to me. Olynyk now back defensively, takes a foul on Hunter down on the baseline, and he's going to get free throws with a minute left here in this third quarter.
I know the fouls are 21-15. Toronto's fouled 21, Atlanta 15. It just seems like Toronto has had the short end of the whistle consistently.
First free throw, no good. Hunter coming up empty for the third time tonight. He's 8 of 11 from the floor for 21 points, but only 3 of 6 at the stripe. 99-82, Atlanta leading Toronto. Hunter hits the second free throw. An 18-point lead for Atlanta. It was as high as 21 in this quarter. The Hawks have reached 36 points in this third quarter. Jacoby Walter 3-ball. Bounced off the rim, went high in the air, and into the hands of the Atlanta Hawks. They secure the rebound, and Trae Young brings it across center. Looking to get the lead back to 20-plus right here. Trae Young trying to shake free from Walter. Goes around a screen set by Hunter, driving on the far side. Scoops it up with the left hand off glass. It's good. He's got 29 in the ball game. Dare I say a quiet 29. Barnes over to Olynyk, whips a pass into the painted area to Boucher, who wasn't ready for it, and it's taken away by Matthews. The Raptors with 25 turnovers, and we're not even into the fourth quarter yet. Far corner, Okongwu gives it back to Matthews on the wing. Up top to Young, cuts into the paint, the running floater up. He thought he was hit, no whistle. And the Raptors grab the rebound with 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Driving, Grady Dick is blocked, and the ball is kept in bounds. Coming down the floor with numbers, the Hawks have it. They get it down low to Okongwu, who puts it in right before the buzzer. And Atlanta will head to the final frame with their largest lead of the game, sitting at 22 points.
Another live ball turnover. And Atlanta capitalizes.
104-82. Atlanta leading, and Toronto's got a whole heck of a lot of work to do in the final frame on Toronto Raptors basketball. Brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
At Tangerine, we're fans of fans who are invested in the game. Like Gary, who lies with reckless abandon every time he's invited out on game night, so he doesn't have to miss game night. Sorry, it's mating season for my pet squid. My e-scooter is out of gas. I ate a beanless burrito. My shoulder blade feels dull. I'm traveling to the 16th century? That's how Gary fans. And we're fans of Gary. This is how we fan. Tangerine, the official bank of the Toronto Raptors.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
As a homeowner in the GTA, you know it can be a long journey before your home runs smoothly and worry-free. But thanks to our experts at EnerCare, you don't have to do it alone. We're available with affordable solutions every step of the way. Whether it's heating, cooling, water heating, or water purification, you get peace of mind knowing that you're backed by our very best. With 65 years of helping Ontarians, we'll always be here when you need us.
EnerCare, experts at home.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you at Scotiabank Arena on a Sunday night. It's just after 8 o'clock Eastern. We're into the fourth quarter. It's about to start, and the Raptors have a lot of work to do. They just gave up, Jonesy, a 40-point quarter. Toronto won the second quarter, had put themselves back in a position to maybe steal one from Atlanta, have a strong second half. They cut it to 6 going into the break, but they were outscored by 16 points, 40-24 in the third quarter. And now the final frame begins with Toronto trailing by 22.
Well, they got work to do. First thing is looking after the ball. That's where it starts.
Atlanta starting with the ball in this fourth quarter. Matthews with a stop and go, got by Brown, then hands it off to Okongwu, who dunks it down. And the lead is 24.
Well, that's the other part of it too, right? We talked about being able to guard the ball, guard your man.
Abaji elevated down low, had the ball stripped. Hawks are saying it went off Ochai's foot. Young trying to sell that, but the officials aren't buying, so the Raptors will keep it 15 on the shot clock. As they will inbound from the baseline, Scotty Barnes to do the honors. Gets it into Ochai, who tries to go up and under and couldn't get it to go as it hit the bottom of the rim, but at center court, Barnes got Young from behind, stole the ball, and gets it back for Toronto. Gets to the baseline, fires back out on the perimeter to Ochai, got a shot blocked by Matthews, who then runs behind the Raptor defense, got to the rim, fouled by Barrett, and it's 2 free throws coming for Matthews. Pretty heads-up play there for Garrison Matthews.
It looked like he pushed off with that left arm, but nice job to challenge the shot by Ochai and then run out.
So a couple of free throws coming now for Atlanta as Matthews heads to the stripe, just 1 of 5 in the ball game. Off the bench in 15 minutes, 3 points make it 4 as he hits the first free throw. 2 blocks and 5 assists. As now Richeche is going to come back into the ball game. He'll check in for Hunter, who slaps 5 with Trae Young. Hunter sits down with 22 points in 21 minutes off the bench. Atlanta going back to the third quarter in the midst of an 8-0 run. Make it 9-0 as Matthews hits the free throw, and this game has suddenly ballooned in a big-time way. It's a 26-point lead. A legal screen by Jakob Poeltl. We're going the other way. Another Raptor turnover there, 26th.
It's an automatic call, whether it is or isn't. If the defender tries to get over the screen and feigns or embellishes any kind of contact, they call it an illegal screen.
108-82. Raptors down. Johnson driving on the far side for Atlanta. Got into the lane. Switched hands with the balls from left to right. Found Garrison Matthews open for a 3 in front of the Raptor bench. Missed it. Toronto with the rebound. Here comes R.J. Barrett driving past Trae Young to the 10. Got blocked. They're going to call a goaltender or a foul?
Foul.
Calling a foul. And R.J. Barrett's going to go to the stripe for attempts 5 and 6 in this ballgame.
Okongwu with the foul. Good job by R.J. getting to the basket.
So RJ back at the stripe. First free throw up and in. Raptors finally getting some healthy bodies back tonight with Bruce Brown making his season debut. He's on the floor right now. Jakob Poeltl returning after that groin injury. He's out there on the floor as we speak. And we await the return at some point of Emmanuel Quickley. Haven't really had a chance to see this Raptor team at full strength since opening night. Toronto staring down the barrel of losing 10 in a row as Scotty Barnes goes high for the rebound off the Trae Young miss. And the Raptors then promptly throw it away in the backcourt for a 27th turnover.
The outlet pass hit Poeltl in the back of the head and went out of bounds. It wasn't intended for him either.
Young elevated for a pass. Abaji got his hand in the pass lane, but then Young picks up the loose ball to keep the possession alive for the Hawks.
The way he carries the ball is simply amazing. Like, he put the ball on a tray and took 2 steps with it from the three-point line toward the sideline. Like, they've got to start calling that when it becomes a move that beats people.
Ochai just picked up his 5th foul, Jones. He's going to come out of the ball game. Grady Dick will check in as the first free throw goes down for Jalen Johnson. $10-12 to go in the ball game. As we await the second free throw from Jalen Johnson. 109-84. It stays that way as the second free throw is no good for Johnson. Raptors grab the rebound, trailing by 25. Barrett spins away from Ricochet, then finds Barnes, who elevates for the dunk on a two-hand flush.
Nice
Raptors
job.
Trail by 23.
Nice job by RJ getting inside. The one thing I will say.
And Matthews walked, carried, got to the 10, fouled, and he's going to go to the stripe.
This idea of playing on the catch in the NBA, and again, I'm going to go back to all of the little things that were, and I think still are fundamental to the game at the high school level, the AAU level, the university level, that the NBA is ignoring is changing the game. Garrison Matthews caught that ball on the run and basically ran into it. And there was no travel call. Trae Young, I just talked to one of the minor officials in the front row that is a referee, a qualified international referee, and I said, that's a move, his carry. And he said that might be the worst one in the NBA. Yet it's let go.
Raptors down 111-86. And on the offensive end, Toronto just had a foul called against Johnson. That was on Scotty Barnes, and it wasn't on the shot. Toronto will inbound from the far side.
I'm going to ask you this. Have you seen a 3-second call all year?
I think one.
I haven't. I don't remember one. And I'm not just talking about in Raptor games. I'm talking about
any call, any game.
Any game.
Brown driving into the paint. His shot was blocked, picked up by Grady Dick. He got it up before the shot clock expired, kept the possession alive. Cleaned up by Poeltl, who puts it back in the 10. Great job there by Toronto. Down big, though. It's about this end of the floor. They need stops. Trae Young dancing on the dribble. Crosses up Bruce Brown. Bounces a pass to Okongwu, out to Johnson. Back out to Trae Young. Young then throws it back to Johnson, who catches it midair down on the left block and guides it into the 10.
Good pass by Trae Young. That's really an astute basketball play.
Poeltl just hammered down on the right block by Okongwu. No call. 3-on-1 the other way for Atlanta. They botch it, but ultimately get a 3 ball in the far corner for Trae Young. And Toronto calls a timeout with 8:43 to go. Toronto down 116-88 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Whether it's towing your big toys or hauling gear for the job site, the Toyota Tundra handles it all without breaking a sweat. By the end, you'll be standing there, wishing you could high-five that truck. That's what we call being Tundra-struck. It's time to be impressed. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2025 Tundra 4x4 Crewmax SR from $141 weekly for 28 months at 4.99% with $5,800 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca for your local Ontario Toyota dealer today.
Ontario is building up our nursing workforce. Since 2018, nearly 100,000 new nurses have registered to work in Ontario. Last year, we added a record of over 18,000 new nurses with another 30,000 nursing students in school. We're investing millions in new programs that pay for nurses' education and breaking down barriers so they can get to work sooner. Learn more at ontario.ca/yourhealth. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590. The Fan.
Welcome back, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. Fourth quarter, 8:43 to go. The Raptors down 116 to 88. We're a couple of days away from flipping the calendar to the new year. The Raptors will have one more game in 2024. That will be in Boston on New Year's Eve day, a 3 p.m. Eastern tip. And then they will fly immediately home to host the Brooklyn Nets on New Year's Day here in Toronto at Scotiabank Arena at 7:30. Last time the Raptors were in Boston, we saw one of the better ball games of the season as Toronto lost in overtime on a buzzer-beating 3-ball from Jason Tatum. And that was in the
where
midst
he
of,
traveled.
Yep. And that was in the midst of a stretch, Jonesy, where the Raptors were playing some solid ball. A tight loss against Detroit, a tight loss in overtime against Boston, a victory over Indy, a victory over Minnesota, a tight loss again to Detroit. Like, there were some games there that were winnable in late November, and then things kind of fell off the rails in the month of December, where Toronto started the month with 2 straight wins over Miami and Indiana, and then proceeded to lose to Oklahoma City, Dallas, New York, Miami, Chicago, Brooklyn, Houston, New York, and Memphis. 9 straight losses, and this could be 10 tonight. Your silence speaks volumes.
You know, you and I looked at the schedule at training camp, and like, we knew it was going to be a tough go. It was made even more difficult by the injuries, and then the self-fulfilling prophecies come into play.
Trae Young weaving his way like a water bug through traffic, got to the tin, laid it in. He's got 34, adding 10 assists. Jamison Battle answers back with a triple for Toronto. It's 118-92. Young, behind the back pass over on the far sideline. It was an errant one, but it was saved before it went out of bounds by Risache, who then finds Capella, turns, fires a soft hook, and it goes. 28-point lead for Atlanta. Bumped in the far corner inside the arc. That was R.J. Barrett. And the foul is going to come in on Risache. Barrett, over the last 2 months, averaged 22.5 points in November, 25.1 in December. Tonight, he's under that average at 16, but a decent ball game overall with 16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Missed the first free throw. He's 5 of 7 at the stripe tonight. Having a career year across the board, R.J. Barrett, but certainly not the season he was looking for his team. And I will say this, Jonesy, you talked about how we were chatting about this team and how it could have been and likely would be a struggle. I thought that if they stayed healthy, and that's a big, big if they stayed healthy, I thought that they could have been potentially in the conversation for one of those final play-in spots, because I didn't feel like in the Eastern Conference they were drastically worse than Washington or Charlotte or Brooklyn or Detroit or Chicago.
I agree.
And I still feel that way. If healthy, is this team a club that maybe has 5-6 more wins? They'd be right in the thick of it. But they're not. They're second last in the Eastern Conference. They're second last in the NBA.
Yeah,
third last.
That's the like you said, health derails you, and some of those teams, like you said, Brooklyn's got 12 wins and they're in the mix.
Trae Young trying to drive to the tin with a right-hand scoop, switched to the left hand at the last second, got a shot blocked by Jakob Poeltl. Raptors down 30, 123-93, as Barnes found Poeltl in the lane. His shot was blocked and we're going the other way. Raptors have dropped all the way to 43% from the floor, and Quinn Snyder takes a timeout. He wants to get a chunk of his starters off the floor. Coming out of the timeout, Jonathan Mobo is going to check into the ballgame, Jones, and I want to ask you about him when we come back. We haven't seen him all night, and this is a guy who's been a key cog as a starter, let alone as a second unit guy. I want to ask you why it is we haven't seen him till right now. With 6:27 to play and the Raptors down 30, it's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Firefighter Finn McHose, that's a nickname, right? Needed help contending with a blaze of debt. He called Alpine Credits and a superhero was sent his way. Summoning water, she extinguished the fire and consolidated his debt into one low monthly payment. His floors may be wet, but his debt is under control. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Ah, at last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. Raptors trailing 123-93 with 6:27 to go in the ball game. And Atlanta breaking free from their huddle with at least one or two starters still on the floor. I'm very surprised by that in a 30-point game. But I digress. Jonesy, I was asking you about Jonathan Mobo entering the ballgame for the first time, and this is a guy who's been a mainstay in the Raptor lineup, one of only two players to appear in every single game this year.
Yeah.
And that record will still stand, but getting in with only 6 minutes left in a 30-point blowout.
Well, part of it is, and we talked about it in the commercial, Bruce Brown being back, and the emergence and Kelly Olynyk being back. All of a sudden you're getting some guys healthy and just going with a little bit more experience. The other part of that too is when you look at Bruce Brown, is he an asset that you're looking to move? If he is, then people need to know he's healthy.
Yep.
And he can play. And tonight he comes out 19 minutes, 12 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, great defensive energy. You know, the pro personnel people from other teams that are in the building are going to look and give a very favorable report to what Bruce did tonight.
Garrison Matthews goes to the free throw line off the foul from Jonathan Mobo, and the lead grows to 31. I have to give another shout out, Jonesy. I was getting ready to throw a little dig at you. I was going to brag a little bit, puff out the chest a little bit, but in the end, it's you that gets to do the bragging. You aware that our two alma maters went toe-to-toe this weekend?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Basketball?
Yeah.
Really?
Men's basketball, York and Humber played yesterday afternoon at Humber College. And the Hawks went into the break with the lead, went into the fourth quarter with the lead, and York, with the comeback victory, took care of business and won in enemy territory, beating the Humber Hawks. And Humber currently taking on Western right now. And I'm going to get on my own soapbox as a guy who attended college, not university, made the choice to attend college, not university. And you know I've been saying this for 20-plus years, that I think it's a complete joke the way that our education system has,
they've segregated.
I believe, segregated colleges and universities on a collegiate level, but I think misinformed young students about what they could or should be doing at the next level with the whole BS about a degree versus a diploma. And I think there's a lot of kids out there being brainwashed that are not focusing enough on some outstanding college programs at the likes of Humber, let alone so many other fine institutions. And that's not meant to be a knock to universities by any means. Now I'll put away my soapbox.
Yeah, I just think that, playing basketball, all those teams should be together.
Absolutely.
All those teams
all
should be
sports,
together.
not just basketball.
Yeah.
Raptors trailing 124-95 with 5:10 to go.
At least like the U.S.
Have a D1 and a D2.
Yeah, give places like Humber, Sheridan, Centennial, Seneca, Mohawk, Fanshawe, give them the choice whether they want to play with the big boys or play in the other loop.
Wallace, 3-ball, far side for Atlanta. The lefty release goes.
Heck, give the universities that. Like, don't you think RMC and Trent would rather play against, some of the smaller
Loyalist
colleges? Loyalist, Algonquin, some of these places. You have it more competitive.
And now that we have so many collegiate programs in Canada that have affiliate programs with universities where academic degrees are offered, not just diplomas.
Seneca and York.
Yeah, Humber, Guelph.
Humber at Guelph.
Like
Guelph
it exists all over the place.
Yeah.
Why not then open it up from an athletic standpoint to allow college and university athletes to compete against one another? 127-100, Atlanta leading Toronto with 4 minutes to go as the Raptors come back the other way off the miss from Wallace. The jumper no good for Battle. Down low, it's kept alive by the Raptors, and Mobo, though, lost the handle on the baseline, and Wallace comes away with the ball.
28 turnovers. You just have to be better with the ball if you're Toronto. And like you said, a lot of them, the turnovers, from Scotty or RJ or some of the starters, they're careless. They're just, making like a high school play when I think you got to value the ball a little better.
130-100, cutting to the 10, Jacoby Walter bobbled the pass but stays with the play and keeps the possession alive. Shot clock down to 7 as he gives it up to Battle on the block right side, floated it up from about 4 feet, missed the shot. Atlanta rebound, and the Hawks call a timeout with 3:19 to play. We'll keep it here. Raptors are going to lose their 10th straight ball game, Jonesy.
That's tough. It makes for very tough sledding. And now you worry about the psychological ramifications of losing 10 in a row. And that's the hard part. The guys have to find a way to kind of come back the next night and compete and try to get another win.
3:19 to go in the ball game. Raptors trailing by 30. Scotty Barnes with 19 points to lead the way for the Raptors. RJ Barrett with 17 on the other side, though. A pretty decent night overall for Trae Young. Didn't shoot the ball extremely well from the floor overall, just 10 of 21. But that 10 of 21 included 7 of 13 from distance. And when you tack on a 7 of 7 at the stripe, it's 34 points and 10 assists for Trae Young. Atlanta with 7 players in double figures tonight. Off the bench, Hunter with 22, Okongwu with 15, Matthews with 11 in the starting lineup. Johnson had 15, Risachet had 14, and Capella with the double-double, 11 points, 13 rebounds. So a ton of scoring from the Hawks. And after giving up 155 to Memphis a couple of nights ago, the Raptors giving up 130 and counting to Atlanta. Hawks will improve to 18 and 15. And that will keep them right in the thick of things in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. I believe they will move ahead of the Milwaukee Bucks for the 5th seed. If I'm doing my math correct, with the Bucks not playing tonight, mathematically, they will have 1 more loss, but 2 more wins, so that should move them percentage points ahead of the Bucks for the 5th seed in the East as we approach, getting closer, maybe not approach, but getting closer to the midway point of the season. We've basically reached 30-plus for almost every team in the league.
Yeah, the die is starting to be cast.
Raptors down 130-102. Garrett Temple brings it across center for the Raptors. Over on the far side on the wing, it's Battle. He gives it up to Walter, back to Battle, now driving into the painted area, stops at the free throw line, kicks it out on the near side to Temple to Shed. Shed down Main Street into traffic, and Shed lost the handle, and it's picked up by Atlanta back the other way. Wallace has it. Wallace drives into the paint, fires back out on the far side. Risachet on the baseline, goes back out to Roddy. Roddy driving into the paint, goes cross court left to right to Wallace. Open triple, no good. Krejci missed that one, tracked down by Atlanta. Second chance opportunity. Roddy, 3-ball, rattled a couple of rims, no good. And Darko now calling timeout yet again. Not sure why with 1:41 to go, but he wants to chat about something.
Well, Mobile was down behind the play. I wondered if he thought the young man might be hurt, but it'll be a quick 1-minute timeout. Let's see if Darko kind of tries to continue to use it as almost like a working practice, if you were, but we revisit our keys, Eric. Turnovers, season high 30 turnovers. The defense, you give up 130. Again, some of that you can't control with the whistle in terms of foul calls. But you just can't give the ball up. Live ball turnovers and expect to hold this team down.
.30 turnovers in the ballgame, Jones, as you just noted for the Raptors, giving up 30 points off those turnovers.
Yeah.
Trying to see if I can find the all-time franchise high for Raptor turnovers in a game. They already have eclipsed the 26, as you noted that earlier in the broadcast, of 26 against Philadelphia. And if I'm correct in seeing this, it looks like the all-time high was on January 15th, 1997 at Seattle.
Oh, gosh.
In a 122-78 loss, where they had 32 turnovers.
I was going to say 33 or 34. I remember that game. That was the year that the Seahawks, the Supersonics went to the final. And earlier in that season, Damon Stoudemire had the franchise's What was the year? 95 or 96?
97.
97. No. Okay,
January 97.
I had the wrong. Although there were a couple of really horrid losses at Key Arena in Seattle.
Although I think what you were about to bring up is, I'm going to double check this, but my memory is being jogged that I believe Damon still has the record for most turnovers in a game by an individual player, and I think it was 12.
Well, he had a triple-double against Seattle on national TV against TNT, where the Raptors beat the Supersonics the year that they lost to the Bulls in the finals. And then the return match later in the season in Seattle, I remember that night, for me, traveling most of the day to get to Seattle because I didn't travel with the team. And I was ready to go to bed at halftime because the Raptors were getting absolutely pasted. I'm going to have to look back at that score. In the days when they were scoring 80 and 90 points, I think Seattle hung up 120-something or 130-something. I'm going to have to look at that one.
Jonathan Mobile in the lane tried to sidestep around the defender. It was Ricochet down there. Missed the shot, the little scoop underneath, no good as the ball goes out of bounds on the baseline. 1.9 on the shot clock, 16.3 on the game clock. Raptors trailing by 29. You want to feel real old? When the Raptors had that futility mark with 32 turnovers in the ballgame in 1997 against Seattle. Our producer and technical director, J.R. Manitad, wasn't born.
Well, he's the same age as my daughter, who was born in the second year of the franchise. So 97 was a good year.
And the Hawks are going to dribble out the clock. 136-107. The Raptors lose to the Atlanta Hawks as Toronto drops its 10th straight ball game. And they'll have to have a very short memory as they hop on a flight tomorrow and head to Boston for their next tilt.
This one got away mid-third quarter. They hung around, did their best to hang around, but third quarter, Atlanta blew it open.
We'll step aside for the break, come back with the final stats, then get set for post-game coverage as Toronto loses 136-107 on Toronto Raptors basketball. Brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
The National Basketball Association on SiriusXM. For a full list of games and channels, go to SiriusXM.com/NBA schedule.
11 XM 195 and Internet 957. Michigan on Sirius 106, XM 196 and Internet 958. In the NFL, 4:05 p.m., Cleveland Browns take on the Miami Dolphins. Browns on Sirius 85, XM 225 and Internet 807. Dolphins on Sirius 160, XM 380 and Internet 819. 4:25 p.m., Philadelphia Eagles take on the Dallas Cowboys. Eagles on Sirius 81, XM 226 and Internet 825. Cowboys on Sirius 161, XM 382 and Internet 808. 8:20 p.m., Washington Commanders take on the Atlanta Falcons. Commanders on Sirius 85, XM 225 and Internet 831. Falcons on Sirius 81, XM 226 and Internet 801. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 88. Spanish feed on Sirius 162, XM 227 and Internet 832. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM sports schedule for Sunday, December the 29th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NBA, 3:30 p.m., Orlando Magic face the Brooklyn Nets. Magic on Sirius XM channels 86, Internet 901, Nets on Internet 882.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
I'm Mick Kern with It Happened in Baseball. October 17th, 1989. Game 3 of the World Series. It pitted the Bay Neighbors against each other for the first time. The San Francisco Giants, led by Kevin Mitchell and Will Clark, against the Oakland A's, led by the Bash brothers, Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco. It was the fourth time these two franchises met up in the Fall Classic, but the first time with both teams located on the West Coast. The first two games this time around were won convincingly by the A's. The Giants returned home to Candlestick Park, looking to get back into the series. The pitching matchup for the pivotal Game 3 pitted 12-11 Don Robinson against 17-8 Bob Welsh. That pitching matchup never took place. At 5:04 p.m. local time, mere minutes before the game got underway, a 6.9 earthquake struck, rippling through the Bay Area for 15 seconds. As word got out about the extent of damage throughout the area and the news that there were casualties, baseball was put on hold. Once it was clear that Candlestick was fine, Game 3 got underway